Welcome in, Rob Kendall Show. Oh my gosh, it's the day after Election Day. It's like Christmas morning. Let's get to it. We got not one, not two, but 3 hours of coverage from what took place yesterday coming up for you today. Tell your ma, tell your pa, tell your brother, your sister, your friend, your mortal enemy, you're not going to get coverage of Indiana politics and government like this anywhere else. And this is what we do. And look, guys, there was so much going on yesterday. There's so much that happened yesterday. And look, the easy route, if you got to have your segment done in like 5 to 7 minutes, the easy route is to go, well, it was a huge win for redistricting. There's some truth to that. But there is a lot more that went on yesterday than just redistricting. Redistricting brought Trump. Redistricting brought the money and the resources, but redistricting is not what delivered the victory. And this is what I've been screaming about for the past several months. Now the dog has caught the car. What do you do with it? And so we're going to get into what happened yesterday. We're going to talk about this in some of the key Senate races, some of the big ones, what went down. We're going to talk about races outside of the state Senate, because there's a lot we can learn from those, too. We're going to talk about some local races. There's a sheriff's race in Du Bois County yesterday that should tell you a lot about what's going on in this state. So, man, we've got a jam-packed program for you. But first, a couple of reminders. Number one, live show is coming up June the 27th. Last live show we did, so popular, it sold out multiple times. They kept printing more tickets, kept making more seats. We're doing another one, June the 27th, and it is going to be a celebration of you guys. It's going to be a celebration of this show, an evening out, an evening to get together, a chance to meet and hang out with the people that you guys have been a part of. You guys have created your own little family here, the people you've talked with in the YouTube chat. It's our way to say thank you to you guys. It's going to be a Mad Hatter comedy event in center in Greenwood. Again, June the 27th. That's a Saturday. We tried to make the tickets super affordable. One of the things we're going to do, all lower level seats, going to have the meet and greet included after the show. My opportunity to say thank you to you guys. Look, last time I just didn't feel like I had enough chance to shake enough hands, say thank you to enough people. So we're adding on to that. We want you guys to be there and have fun with us. So many of you had such a blast last time. We're going to try to do it even better this time. June the 27th. You can get tickets. I've got them linked up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. At Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. I've got it pinned right to the top. Or if you just want to go to madhattershows.com, MADHATTER shows.com. Get your tickets there as well. Would love to see you guys coming up on June the 27th as we celebrate what an awesome launch it has been to this program. All thanks to you guys. And it's our way to say thanks back. All right. One other thing, and then we'll get into all the election stuff. So I mailed out yesterday the books and the buttons for those of you who a couple weeks ago gave very generously over at robkendallshow.com. By the way, support button up, robkendallshow.com. If you like what we do and you want to keep me out of the poorhouse, a great way to do that, hit the support button at robkendallshow.com. Our friends over at SoMedic did that yesterday. Hundreds and hundreds of you have done that. Thank you to all of you. There's a support button, $1, $10, $10,000 if you've inherited $10 million from a beloved one or a person you didn't even know existed. You can put it to great use over at the support button, robkendallshow.com. So a couple weeks ago, we said, hey, people who support the show at a certain level, we're going to send you out some stuff. The one of my books, Path Less Traveled, one of Jason's books, and some buttons. And so all of it was ready to go. So I packed it up, put it all in the envelopes. And look, I used to do this quite a bit. We talked about this before when we had our streaming company, up and fully operational. I used to mail out. This was back in the old days when you would print CDs out for people of ball games and stuff. So I'm pretty used to be very familiar with going to the post office and what things cost. Holy crap, has the post office gotten expensive. It has been years since I've been in a post office just because I, worked for somebody else. Wasn't packing things up, wasn't shipping things, wasn't being entrepreneurial.
Just
I just had my photo hanging. Thank you. And so it'd been years since I'd mailed any sort of like package out of the post office. Oh my gosh. Like these, and by the way, so the numerous ones of you, thank you to everybody who did that. The stuff is on the way. Hopefully it'll be to you guys within the next few days. It's all been shipped out. The size of package I mailed out, I was trying to remember like what it cost because the envelopes are super expensive too. You know, like the bubble mailers, they used to be like $1.25. They were like $2 a piece now. I'm not trying to be like an old man who yells at clouds, but I bought them in bulk. I used to be able to buy one. I bought them in bulk to save money, and they were still like $2 a piece. Oh my gosh, so expensive. Anyway, the mail, the size of package I sent out, similar to what I'd done numerous times. Now I know they go by weight or whatever, right? But it used to be like $3.50, maybe $4. It was almost $11 a package to mail this stuff out. Well, what is going on with the post office? Like, is the post office service? And by the way, I have the best mailman in the whole world, Justin, the mailman. He's awesome. It's not an indictment of the people working at the post office. It seems like there's fewer people working at the post office now. It seems like it took a lot longer. Like this was like holiday wait times, except it's in the middle of May. And why is it so expensive? What is going on? I know the stamps got more expensive, but like that is like 3 times what I was paying to mail the same thing, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. Holy smokes, that was expensive. Jason's like, we probably ought to do a different promotion the next time. Anyway, if you know what's going on at the post office, let us know in the YouTube chat. Speaking of the YouTube chat, there are 3 ways you can really help us grow this program. If you like what we're doing, if you want to help us cover Indiana news and politics and government unlike anybody else, there's a couple things you can do. We call it like, we call it share, we call it subscribe. First of all, if you haven't done so yet, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. That really helps us grow this program. Also, and I know that sounds like a simple thing as it works with YouTube. If you're here today, if you're watching us live, if you're watching us on demand on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. If you are on YouTube with us, share the feed, regardless of where you're at. Whether you're watching live or on demand, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or all the platforms we're on, share our feed. Everything we've done, all the incredible growth we've had in our first 9 weeks has been because of you guys growing this program organically. That is all thanks to you guys, and we need to keep it up. Look, guys, not to get too deep in the weeds, but the time spent listening and viewing this program, 62 minutes. 62 minutes. That's unbelievable. That means the average person, every person, the thousands and thousands of people who view us every day, 62 minutes, that's the average now. The rate, just to give you like a radio equivalent, it's like 7 to 10 minutes. It's funny because there's always these anon accounts that come at me on Twitter and they're like, he's just bitter, he's not on the radio anymore. Program directors would give an arm to have people listen for 62 minutes. And we can do this here. I was thinking about this driving in today. Everything we've done in on this program for the first 9 weeks with you guys has been about growth. And everything we're going to continue to do is about growth. We have a long-term plan with this thing, and we are checking all the boxes thanks to you guys. Everything we're doing, it doesn't mean it's all right. It doesn't mean it's all going to work out. We try things all the time and they don't. But in terms of the broad picture, the big picture, being able to have these important conversations in the manner we want to have them, that nobody else will have them, it all centers around us continually growing the show, and we are hitting those targets thanks to you guys. So when we ask you to do stuff, it's working. We need you to keep it up. 62 minutes per person. The thousands and thousands of people. It's unbelievable. Once we get people, we keep them. And that's thanks to you guys. So help us. When we say like, share, and subscribe, there's a method to the madness. Hit the thumbs up button. Share the feed. If you got a Facebook, if you got a Twitter, tell people we're here and what we're doing. Nobody's doing 3 hours of election coverage today, and it's all really important. We'll make it interesting. I guarantee you, Rob Kendall is the only person on the planet who can make Indiana election coverage wildly interesting for 3 hours. So share the feed. Facebook, Twitter. There's a whole bunch of haters who privately watch us. They're not sharing. So you got to step up for those people. And then last, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching us. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If Apple, Spotify, wherever. And if you're on the Apple or the Spotify, instead of the thumbs up, leave us that 5-star review. That really helps us as well. Okay, election coverage in just a moment. But first, Double D's Barbecue. You guys have been going out there left and right. You guys love it. You've been talking about how awesome it is. The food, the decor, the atmosphere. We told you. We told you. And it's open now, Double D's Barbecue in Clayton. This place is so cool. It's located right there, basically at 40 and 39. It's a little out of the way, but it's totally worth the trip. And it's open Wednesday through Saturday. Dun-da-da-da. It's Wednesday. So if you're tired of the same old thing, Double D's Barbecue. The owners, Dennis and Tina Duncan and their son Garrett from Memphis, they take the barbecue very seriously. It's all authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue. The restaurant, Elvis-themed. All the food, all the sauces made from scratch each day. They've won best ribs and best sauce at Rib Fest in Hendricks County. So you can get a full menu of everything. Ribs, brisket, and more. DDBBQ 317. DDBBQ317.com. Check it all out. Awesome supporters of this program. Okay, let's get to the elections. And look, guys, we're going to move around throughout the course of the show today because I talked about this a little bit on the YouTube and the Facebook. We're missing the plot. Everybody's talking about the Senate races. You're missing the plot. Everyone's missing the plot when they just go, well, it was about redistricting. It was not. It was not. And the great thing about this show, we dislike both sides equally, right? Like we told you, we're cheering against everyone because the establishment, the incumbents, they've done a horrible job. Noted. The other side, they haven't stood for anything, which if you're not running on anything specific, like just saying I'm going to lower your property taxes, that doesn't mean anything. We heard that for a year and a half from the guy who's the governor. By the way, don't you guys love Braun's now suddenly back to being a hero? This guy crapped on the entire state and has over and over and over and over and over again. Property taxes, utility bills, the IEDC, tolling, one tax increase after another. But because he pumps some money into Senate races and they win, nothing's changed. He's now suddenly back to being a hero. Braun didn't deliver on anything he promised. And we're going to get into how wrapped up in the theater of politics people get. One of the great things about being here, not that I didn't do this before, but I can do it on a level like never, because you can't get fired twice unless I fire myself. I can tell you exactly what's going on without any need or want to be in a club or be with any group or anything else. Mike Braun didn't deliver on any of the promises he made last year, the key promises. The government got bigger. The taxes went up. He didn't fix property taxes. Utility bills are record high. The IEDC is the same corrupt, unethical organization that it's always been, doing the same BS it's always done. And yet, today, you would think that he is right up there with General Grant, Patton. Pick your favorite military leader as one of the greatest heroes in American history. And it's like, what about the results? What about this is the crazy thing to me about this desperate attempt to get rid of Rod Bray. And I talked about this last night on social media a little bit. Braun and Bray agreed on like 98% of the stuff. Bray and Braun were working together. Bray and Braun agreed on property taxes. Bray and Braun agreed on utility bills. Bray and Braun agreed on the governor tolling. Bray and Braun agreed on the Bears. All the IEDC, all of this stuff. Bray and Braun are simpatico. It's disingenuous BS from Braun and Beckwith and Banks and the rest of these guys. Because they didn't say anything about Bray. They didn't say anything about Bray until he voted against redistricting. And then all of a sudden, he's so bad. He's got to go. But what about all of this? Braun, Bray, Houston, Holcomb. The Mount Rushmore of terrible that has screwed over this state. And yet, not a word on this from these people until redistricting. Braun doesn't believe Bray's a bad guy. If Braun believed Bray was a bad guy screwing over Hoosiers, he would have fought him on property taxes. You know, the thing that actually matters, the thing that actually affects your life, the thing that actually causes you to potentially lose your home. Braun signed off on the deal that Bray and Houston and Jeff Thompson put together. Holdman, we'll get to Holdman here in a second. This isn't Braun didn't do this because he cares about you. None of these people did this because they care about you. They did this because they're subservient to Trump. Where was Jim Banks when we put 1,000 people in the State House for property tax rally? Where was he? Where was Jim Banks when Braun signed off on the deal that will guarantee your utility bills are going up because it allows the utility company to recoup 80% of their little Dr. Frankenstein experiments on SMRs, the nuclear stuff that's not proven to work? Where was Banks on Braun's $6.5 billion tolling proposal? Where's Banks on Braun's billions of dollar giveaway to the Bears if they come? Nowhere. These people, they don't care about you. They cared about making Trump happy, which is what this was all about. The redistrict, look at our reps. Like I've said, take all of the reps, the 7 congressmen and women in the state of Indiana, and morph them into a human. Like you guys remember the Captain Planet cartoon where they put their rings together, and then they would make Captain Planet would emerge. Put a composite of our 7 reps together. And boy, people get really mad when I frame it in these terms because they don't want to answer the question. Jefferson Shreve, Rudy Yackham, professional office hopper Aaron Houchin, Messmer, nutbag Victoria Spartz, Baird, Stutzman, the current version of Stutzman, not the current ass-kisser, weak-kneed version of Stutzman. Not the kick-ass one we had before he got smoked by Todd Young in a Senate primary 10 years ago. Put these people together and make them a human. Do you think that person or those 2 people are going to save the republic? Like, that's what they make this out. Like, this redistricting is about saving the republic. It's laughable. It's unbelievably laughable. But they want you to believe that somehow 1 or 2 more Hoosiers, we're going to save the republic. By the way, given what we saw yesterday in the turnout and enthusiasm from the Democrats, and we got to still parse through who got nominated and where, if they had redistricted, if you had gutted up Marion County and stretched Marion County into all of these other districts and changed the 1st congressional district, it's still likely they would lose the 1st. The math on the redistricting in the 1st never got them to a guarantee of winning the 1st congressional district in Northwest Indiana. There's not a single person, even those ardent of supporters, who was going to say slam dunk. It's still a toss-up district. They thought they could cut 3 or 4 percentage points. It's a Democrat plus 5 or 6 if you look at the traditional trend of the 1st congressional district. They thought with redistricting they could shave 3 or 4, maybe 5, make it 5 more Republican. Okay, in an even year now, it really is a toss-up. It ain't going to be an even year. Guys, you look at every poll that's out there. You look at the enthusiasm, look at the special elections that have taken place. You look at yesterday in Indiana, the enthusiasm from Democrats compared to Republicans. There's no guarantee they were going to win the 1st. They were probably still going to lose the 1st. Now you've carved up and taken safe Republican districts. Keep in mind, and this is what pisses me off, about how disingenuous these people are. I know some of you are saying, like, can he really do 3 hours on the election? I haven't even got to a single election yet. What time is it, Jason?
It's 9:19.
Okay, I've been at it 20 minutes, and I haven't gotten to a single election. They're going to have to cut me off. I'm not going to get to all the elections.
Not to interrupt chat.
Yes, we will not interrupt the chat. We will do the chat. There was no guarantee you were going to get the first, even with the redistricting, certainly not with Democrat enthusiasm. And then you start carving up these safe Republican districts, which, remember, for all these people bitching about Andre Carson, the reason Carson's district is so safe is the Republicans made it that way, because Victoria Sparks is a psychotic nutbag. They had to change the district to save her. They had to make Marion County, the Carson district, more Democrat to make Sparks more Republican because she was going down. They never want to acknowledge that. They've already gerrymandered the district the last time. Then you start pushing, by the way, the Sparks, this is amazing on the Sparks race, and I wasn't going to get into the Congress stuff for a while, but I wanted to mention this. Sparks didn't get 60% of the vote, and she ran against a no-name with no money in a primary. I'm not saying Sparks is going to lose, but that's horrible. Nobody knew who her opponent was. Those were almost all protest votes against Victoria Sparks. She couldn't get to 60% in a primary. That's going to probably be a competitive district again this fall. There's a real chance. Doesn't mean she's going to lose. But then you push all of these Democrat voters into these districts that are already trending more Democrat. Somebody posted this yesterday, and they said, look, there's a chance if they redistricted, it could have been 5-4. I don't think that was going to happen. I think that some of these districts are still safe enough that these Republicans would pull through. But my God, what does that say about our state? What does it say about governance in Washington? That the only way we can win elections is to change the maps. And what are you winning? This is the question I keep asking. What are you winning? What have you gotten in the past year and a half? Let's talk about what you've gotten in Indiana, and let's talk about what you've gotten in Washington. We are at or surpassing record gas prices. Republicans control everything, guys, and they have for a year and a half. We are at or surpassing record gas prices. Inflation, still totally out of control. Prices are not coming down. What are we doing in Iran? What the hell is going on? Look, guys, the Iran stuff is more chaotic than Ukraine, because at least Ukraine, it wasn't our guys and girls. Do you have any idea what's going on with Iran right now? If you answer anything other than no, I don't, you're lying. Because nobody does, even probably the people doing it. Why we're there, how it ends, what the goal is, why we did it to begin with, none of that has been laid out. You have gas out of control. You have us involved, our soldiers, our pilots, our planes, our everything involved in a dangerous international conflict. You have inflation that's totally out of control, prices that are totally out of control. The national debt has skyrocketed to $39 trillion. The signature bill of the Republicans is this big, beautiful bill that added trillions of dollars. And as my account and others have told me, ain't nothing being done for the average person in that bill. We laid that out in great detail. Ain't nothing being done for the average person unless you work in a very specific couple of industries. And many of you have posted about how your tax bill didn't go down. Your tax bill didn't change. So what was all of this about? Give us more of that. The Republicans know they can't win on governing, so they said, well, screw it, we'll change the maps. In Indiana, what have we gotten? We know our property taxes are going to continue to go up. The assessments have hit. They lied to us about that. Record utility bills, record gas taxes. Now, Ron has temporarily suspended a sales tax on gas, which is going away next month. He's already said that. So you'll be back to the record taxes on gas. The Republicans here raised taxes by $1 billion. They raised taxes by $1 billion last year to fund their budget. – 'Brand new tax increases across the state with tolling. – 'Brand new tax increases across the state with tolling. – 'Brand new tax increases across the state with tolling. – 'Brand new tax increases across the state with tolling. – 'Brand new tax increases across the state with tolling. – 'Brand new tax increases across the state with tolling. You've got blatant corruption and unethical behavior with the IEDC, billions of our dollars flowing out with that. You've got this Mid-States corridor, which is the pet project of the governor, which billions of dollars are proposed to go to. We don't have any money for our roads without raising taxes by billions of dollars, but we have billions of dollars laying around for a pet project that benefits the governor's business. And you've got the governor's close political ally, Tom Kleinhelter, the sheriff of his home county, somehow evading an 80-page probable cause affidavit that had him dead to rights on pilfering money out of the commissary. And it magically goes away when Braun gets elected governor. And in the Republicans' mind here, people love this. They love us. We gotta rig them. We're so loved, we gotta rig the maps. No, people are sick of all of it. People are sick of both sides. So we're off. We're running. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into all the stuff. We're going to talk about these Senate races. Who won? Who lost? How it is ridiculous that redistricting is getting all the credit for this. What actually went on in some of these Senate races. Why these people lost. We're going to talk about Diego going down in his delegate race, which should be as big, if not a bigger story, given who Diego is, than the Senate races. And yet nobody seems to be talking about it. Guys, it was a great night for me last night. Not one, not two, but three of my arch nemesis went down. We're going to talk about the local one that went down and do a victory lap on that. We're going to talk about the sheriff's race in Du Bois County. All of this stuff to give you a picture of what's actually going on in this state. We're going to talk about that and more when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance, so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002 or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
All right, guys, we're back. Welcome back. Rob Kendall Show, 3 hours today of election coverage. Thanks for being with us. Tell your friends. We're bringing the stuff you're not going to get anywhere else. That's the great thing about how we're doing it, what we're doing now. It's an independent voice. We can break down the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll get to the Senate races in just a second because there's a lot of important stuff with those. But let's talk about what I think should actually be the biggest story, and that is that Diego Morales went down in his delegate election last night, which means he can't vote for himself at the convention. So For those of you, most of you are voters, so you know at the back of your ballot, whether you pulled a Republican or a Democrat ballot, that you got asked to vote for delegates to the state convention. And these are the people that vote on things like the party platform. They vote on the candidates for statewide office. The big one on the Republicans, I think the only challenged office is Secretary of State. And it'll be David Shelton and it'll be Diego Morales. And so you have all of these people running. And in Indianapolis, like many other places, they're done by district. Diego, I guess, has finally figured out where he actually lives. For those of you like, what is he talking about? Don't forget, Diego Morales, when he was running for Congress, looked like Diego wanted to be in office. He doesn't care what office he's actually in. He just wanted to be in an office. He tried to run for Secretary of State, realized he couldn't beat Connie Lawson. This was back in 2018. Then he decided, okay, I can't beat Connie Lawson. I'll run for Congress. He lived in Indianapolis, but he knew he couldn't beat Andre Carson. So he decided he was going to run in the 4th Congressional District, which is the western part of the state. But he didn't live there. But he wanted to vote for himself. So despite taking his homestead credit, which is where you live, when you guys who pay property tax, you file that homestead credit. Homestead, it is what it says, right? Homestead, that's where you live. Despite filing a homestead credit in Marion County, Diego Morales somehow voted, I believe it was in Plainfield. No one's ever been able to answer how that happened. So I guess Diego's finally figured out he does indeed live in Indianapolis because he was on the ballot for Indianapolis voters to pick delegates. And I've not checked the final tally. Abdul said, as of the last tally, which I think all the votes are in those districts, he was 12th out of 18. 18 people running for these delegate positions, and Diego Morales, the sitting Secretary of State, got 12th. His wife did even worse. His wife, who he sometimes goes on these mysterious trips with. Yeah, she did even worse. And to me, I'm looking at this going, why are more people not talking about this? We're pulling the curtain back on what this guy actually is, and when he's not protected by the party, and more importantly, the money of the party, how people actually view him. See, this is what's happened with Diego, and I've said this for years. Follow the money. People like Banks and Rokita and the establishment of the Republican Party protect Diego because of the money. If you look at the money that touches Diego Morales, it touches so many of these other Republican politicians. Why will they endorse him? Why will they stand behind him? Why will they give him money? They know what he is. Rokita fired Diego from the office when he was Secretary of State. Rokita knows what an incompetent, ridiculous buffoon Diego Morales is. The paperwork shows it. You guys know this, right? That when Rokita was Secretary of State, Diego worked for him, and paperwork shows Rokita fired Diego. Paperwork shows Diego went back when Charlie White became Secretary of State and was about to get fired again before he quit. Diego Morales is beyond description levels of incompetent. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows what an unethical, likely corrupt joke this guy is. Who disappears to a foreign country for 10 days and won't tell you who paid for it? Oh, let me rephrase that. Then Diego came back and said, I'll pay for India. I'll pay. I will never forget that, guys. And this is a great example. So most of you know, I went to the Clay County Lincoln Day. I was invited. I went. Diego was there. I went up and had the conversation with him. Nobody else will, but I didn't. He had a complete meltdown in front of everyone. And then, because he knew he had the meltdown, because he can't answer the question, who paid for the trip to India? By the way, how ridiculous is that? A sitting statewide office holder disappeared to a foreign country for 10 days. Won't tell you what he did there. Won't tell you who paid for it. Then, bizarrely, months later comes out and goes, I paid the money back. Okay, who'd you pay it to? I'll pay for India. I'll pay. At Clay County, after he had the meltdown in front of everybody, he got up to give a speech and he started shouting more about it. This guy's dirty as hell and everybody knows it. And yet the power structure of the Republican Party protects Diego Morales because of money. It's why they banned me from the Hendricks County Lincoln Day dinner. Because they knew it was going to be Clay County 2.0. And they know once I get a hold of these people and it's in public, he's going to melt down. The same reason they didn't want me asking Micah Beckwith how he ended up at the NBA Finals with a high-profile known felon whose life and criminal career reads like a CVS receipt. They don't want better people. They want the money and they want the power, so they just cut you out. They make me to be the bad guy. Well, we can't have him asking Diego who paid for the trip because Diego will melt down. They should all be demanding to know who paid for the trip. The no-bid contracts to people who give to his campaign. The hiring of family members, the raises. The filming of the commercial using state resources for his campaign. The car. All of this stuff. The people hate him. And we saw it yesterday. He couldn't even win a delegate race to go vote for himself at convention. We are told by Rokita and Banks and all of these people about how beloved Diego is. Oh, Diego, he's doing a hell of a job. Apparently, the people who can vote on him think he's doing a horrible job. Look, there's a huge part of me that is cheering for Diego to win at that convention because that will be best for our show. That will be awesome for our show if Diego wins. Getting 5 months, 6 months of being able to talk about Diego with Greg Ballard likely on the ballot and Bo Bai, that was going to accomplish so many things that I want. The only way to fix the Republican Party is for them to start losing elections. We saw it yesterday in the primaries, but they got to start losing some general elections, and they need to lose a big one. And if you're gonna nominate a corrupt, unethical piece of trash like Diego Morales, then you deserve to lose. But for my state, because I care about my state far more than my show or my politics, I want this guy out of office. And that should be a massive story that despite all the BS, the propaganda, the inaction by the establishment money wing of the Republican Party, that the voters spoke on Diego yesterday in a delegate race, and he got absolutely smoked. Hey, let's get to the Senate races. I know that's what everybody wants to hear about, so let's get to the Senate races. But before we do that, is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salts, environmental buildup like mold and dirt, all can cause damage that can be expensive to repair. Patios, driveways, sidewalks, all of these things, right? Seal Now, that's where they come in. SEALNOW.com. They fix it. The clean, seal, and stain professionals. All your outdoor surfaces. Decks, fences, pergolas. They do more than just concrete. Any exterior concrete or wood outdoor structure that needs cleaned or maintained, Seal Now. They're your guys. Visit SealNow.com or call 317-548-2002. Not only can you see their work at SealNow.com, give you an idea what your product might look like, your project may look like, but you also get a free estimate on what you want to do, so no surprises. You know what it's going to cost. But listen to this giveaway. If you tell Seal Now I heard their ad on the Rob Kendall Show, they're going to take 20% off any long-term project. 20% off any long-term project. SealNow.com. I'm sorry, any long-term sealing project. 20% off any long-term sealing project. What a deal. 20% off any long-term sealing project just by telling them you heard about them on the Rob Kendall Show. All right, let's talk about the Senate races. We're going to spend some time on these, and I'm going to work through some of them because the narrative is not the reality. Look, it is indisputable that Trump-endorsed candidates had a good night last night. They did. They did. It looks like they're going to get 6 of the 8. You've got, and we'll get to the 2 that are winning right now in just a second, with the sort of that Trump Turning Point alliance. Now, what's very odd about all of this is Trump and Turning Point were not aligned on all the candidates because Trump's endorsement was about Trump. It wasn't about you. It wasn't about Indiana. It was about Trump being mad about redistricting. So Trump endorsed people who have done immense harm to our state. This is why I was so frustrated by all of this. If Trump had come out and been like, Ron Alting screwed everyone on property taxes. Vote for Richard Bagsby. Okay. If Trump had come out and said, Liz Brown screwed everyone on constitutional carry for years and enforcing immigration laws in Indiana, vote for Vote. It was weird, right? The guy she was running against was named Vote. Like, if all the Trump endorsements were related to stuff of our state, no issue for me. The problem is he endorsed people like Ron Alting, and he endorsed people like Liz Brown, who have done horrible harm to our state. But they voted for redistricting. So it's very hard to make sense of all this, and for everybody to try to lump it into one thing is not accurate. Let's start with the big races, though, because there's three I want to talk about. Redistricting brought Trump, and it brought the money and resources. There's no doubt about that. Zero. Trump's endorsement and the money and resources that it brought helped these people these challengers get across the finish line. No doubt. But it's not the reason they lost. The incumbents lost. It's not. It's just not. Let's start with Travis Holdman. Arch emesis number 2 that went down. Number 1, Diego. Number 2, Travis Holdman. Travis Holdman, Northeast Indiana, got smoked for these reasons. Number 1, he's been there since the earth was young. Number 2, he's 9 million years old. Number 3, if you've ever had a conversation with him, the guy comes off like a complete unlikable ass who doesn't care about anybody but himself. In Senate hearings, he looks like he's annoyed that he had to be awoken to go participate. And most importantly, he was the architect on the Senate side of the property tax bill that the entire state hates. That's why Travis Holdman lost. Look, Travis Holdman ran against a guy, Blake Feichter, who didn't even know he was running until Trump tweeted his name, had no idea what he was doing. He then decided it was too hard and too much work, so he quit. He literally quit, announced he's quitting in the middle of the race, and then unannounced showed up back at the White House and was like, I'm back in the race, baby. That's who won. This guy was not a good candidate at all. Travis Holdman was so hated because he screwed the entire state on property taxes that people were like, we'll vote for a guy who only ran because Trump tweeted his name and in the middle of the race said it was too hard and he quit. That's our representation. That's why it's a complete joke to think these people are going to go fight for us. This guy, running was too hard. Running! Like, all you got to do, hi, my name's Blake, vote for me. That was too hard for him. You think he's going to be in there fighting for you? You think he's going to go to war with Senate leadership or House leadership or Braun? He couldn't even run. Holdman lost because of Holdman. And we told you guys, Holdman was one of the ones we thought was going down because he was the architect of a property tax bill that the entire state, including his own district, hated. He also was in on the data center giveaways. He was in on the casino stuff. There were numerous reasons to the people of that district that Travis Holdman needed to go, and God bless them. God bless them. See, this is the thing, like all the people last night, I bet Rob's really mad. No, I'm not mad at all. I've told you guys for weeks on this show, I think we lose either way. I'm so glad to get rid of Travis Holdman. I have zero confidence in a guy that was so weak he couldn't even campaign. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, Blake's awesome, man. He's great. That guy's amazing. He quit in the middle of the campaign. Okay, so that's Holdman. That's the big fish, right? Like, he was the biggest name to go down last night, but he didn't lose because of redistricting. Trump got mad at him and went at him because of redistricting, which brought the money and the resources. But he lost because the people in his district were pissed off about a whole bunch of things that had nothing to do with redistricting. Let's talk about the second biggest name that went down last night. And that was Jim Buck. Jim Buck, the Westfield area, all the way up to Kokomo. Same first two issues that hit Holdman. He's been there forever. Buck has been in the General Assembly since 1994. Go home. 32 years. I was in the 4th grade in 1994. He's still there. He's been in the Senate, I think, since 2008. He's also 80 years old. Go home. He voted on property tax. He voted on a lot of these things that people are unhappy with. Here's the other thing. Jim Buck led people to believe he was not running again. And so Tracy Powell is the guy running against him. Ran an aggressive campaign, a good campaign, quite frankly, long before redistricting was on anyone's radar. Buck lost because he's too old, out of touch, out of ideas, and the guy running against him ran a great campaign way before redistricting. Way before redistricting was a thing. Again, redistricting brought attention. It brought money. It brought resources. But redistricting isn't why Jim Buck is not a senator anymore, or about to not be a senator. The third one, Greg Walker. Greg Walker, been there 20 years. Same thing. Greg Walker won a huge upset 20 years ago on the idea of people staying in office too long. The guy he beat was a lifer, a long-termer, and Walker was the young guy. He won. He'd become the person he ran against. Greg Walker, that's Columbus, the Johnson County area, Bartholomew Johnson County. He had been there too long. He ran against Michelle Davis, a state rep, a known quantity. Greg Walker made a lot of votes that pissed people off that voted in Republican primaries. Things related to vaccines, things related to boys and girls sports, a lot of social issues that really pissed off Republican voters. Again, redistricting brought Trump, it brought money, it brought attention. Greg Walker did not lose because of redistricting. Greg Walker, also like Jim Buck, led everyone to believe he's not running again. Michelle Davis, good candidate, big head start. All of these people lost because of issues not related to redistricting. And we're doing a huge disservice to fixing the mess, which, by the way, Michelle Davis voted for a lot of the same stuff. A lot of the same stuff that Greg Walker has. We're suddenly led to believe what? She's going to be some warrior now for all the things that'll help us? Property taxes, utility bills? Get out of here. Status quo beats status quo. I'm not going to lie to you and act like anything's going to change. Why would anything change? She's in the system. She has not been fighting for us. Are we suddenly led to believe because she's now a senator instead of a state rep, she's going to change who she is? No. No. So those three people, big-time people, went down because of things they did that alienated people in their district. Not because of redistricting. And we're missing the plot and we're missing the ability to have meaningful change if we just hang it on redistricting. I've heard nothing specific that Powell or Davis, and by the way, Davis is in on the property tax stuff, right? She's been in the General Assembly. Powell, Davis, Feichter, any of those guys are going to do on property taxes. Have you guys? Specifics. What are they going to do about assessments? Until you fix the assessment scam, nothing's changing. What are they going to do? And by the way, isn't it wild? So Braun wins all these seats last night. And this morning, all I hear him talking about is, well, Bray's a wet blanket. He should quit. He should resign. Why didn't Braun this morning lay out specific policy proposals on things that he's mad that you got screwed on that he wants to fix? He said last year he was coming back for more on property taxes. He came for nothing this year. And then he told everybody people were happy with property taxes. If it was really about you and bad governance in the Senate, why this morning was the first thing not a list of demands? Here's what we're doing. Here's the new contract with Indiana. Because Braun doesn't want to fix any of that. It's all political. It's not about you. If it was about you, that's what he would have done last night. That's what he would have done last night. That's what he would have done this morning. Instead of, Bray's got to quit. Bray's got to go. Bray's got to this. Bray's got to that. Because that's what Trump wants. It's not about you. Let's talk about the two people that for now have survived. And this is why I'm telling you the redistricting argument is it's not the reason people voted for or against candidates for the most part. There were some people who probably did. Look at the two who right now have survived. Greg Good won overwhelmingly in Terre Haute. We told you he would. And right now, and it's very close, but right now, and it's subject to recounts and recanvassing and everything else. But right now, Spencer Deary is winning in Lafayette. Those were the two public enemy number ones. I saw Scott Pressler tried to get mouthy with me last night on Twitter. Now, that guy didn't have a word to say when he was drawing 7 people at events. But now he's trying to take credit for the victory. Now, last night, he got mouthy with me on Twitter. Because Scott, the two public enemy number ones, the most high-profile people were Greg Good and Spencer Deary. And as of right now, Greg Good smoked Brenda Wilson. Why? Because she was a bad candidate. She was a bad candidate. And when you add up the math, that third woman running didn't make any difference. Add the math up of the votes she got. It didn't matter. Greg Good didn't piss anyone off. He had just been caucused in, so he hasn't been there a long time. And he was seen as a person who listens to the constituency. He won. Spencer Deary, public enemy number 2 that Pressler went after. Right now, and Turning Point USA went after. He's still winning. It could change. Spencer Deary, same thing. Hasn't been there very long. Didn't piss anybody off up there. He voted against the property tax debacle, by the way. And he just kind of went about his business. All these other people who got smoked, the Walkers and the Bucks and the Holdmans, they pissed off their constituency on key issues. So if Scott Pressler wants to get lippy, ask him why public enemy number 1 and 2 have won and are still winning. Elections are local. Elections are local. Greg Good won because he's done a nice job with his constituency. Spencer Deary is very close or winning or going to win or whatever based on him not pissing anybody off and serving his constituency. Ron Alting won over Richard Bagsby because people apparently feel he served the constituency. It's not about redistricting. It brought the money, it brought the resources, it brought the attention. But it's a reminder that if you can motivate a group of people to go knock on doors, if you can motivate a group of people, I say this all the time, local elections are about doors and signs. They're not about TV ads, about doors and signs, local elections. By the way, Greg Good ran ads on this show and he won. How about that? How about that? The one guy who survived so far, guaranteed, was the one guy who ran ads on this show. That's right. Good move by Greg Good. Good move, Greg. The point in all this, though, is we have no idea what these people are going to be about. We have no idea how they're going to govern. We have no idea who they're going to support for leadership. And by the way, let's talk about leadership. Let's do this. Let's take a break. And then let's talk about leadership because it's all Bray's got to go, Bray's got to go, Bray's got to go. Let's talk about leadership when we come back. Because I think we're totally naive to the plot of what's going to happen here with the new Senate and what these people are going to do. We'll talk about it next. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee.
Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with At Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
Hey guys, welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. We got so much election stuff we're doing today. We got to get to the congressional race. We got a bunch of stuff more at the Senate races. We got other things across the state. Before we get back to that, though, a couple of reminders. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button. We need you guys to help us out. We got to get to that 200 like button. I'd like to do that by 10:30. No, 10:15. 10:05. Lower the expectation. We need 32 more. Hit the like button. That really helps us out, guys. Really helps us grow the program. Also, share this feed. Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're at. Share the feed. Let people know we're here, what we're doing. And don't forget, if you're liking this, we're going to be live and in person. June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Show in Greenwood. First show was so awesome. We're doing it again. Would love to meet you guys. Say hi, have an awesome evening of fun and entertainment. Get your tickets now. I got it pinned up, the link pinned up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, and madhattershows.com if you want to get to the link yourself. If you're not a Twitter person, madhattershows.com. Coming out with us. Celebrate with us. Let's have some fun. We're doing this for you guys to say thanks for an awesome start to this program, helping us grow. We can't do it without you. One other thing, then we'll get back to the show. If you like what we're doing, if you want to be a part of it, there's a couple different ways you can do that. Number one, head over to robkendallshow.com. We got a support button there. Any amount, we love you. robkendallshow.com, hit that support button, be a part of the program with us. And we see people mention these things from time to time, these ads that we run. Our advertisers love us because we get results for them. If you own a business, you run a business, you know someone who owns or runs a business, we want to get to know you guys. We want to see if we can help you. That's what we're all about. Help us help you. Sales at robkendallshow.com. Sales at robkendallshow.com. Send me an email. Let's get to know each other. All right. Speaking of somebody who advertises here and loves us, Lauren Wilson. I got a chance to see Lauren yesterday. She's awesome. Realtor with At Properties. And Lauren is local, and that's such a key when buying or selling a home. Lauren is all about that personal service. She's a Hoosier lifer, military vet, and she would love to be the person that helps you plan your next move. Buying a home, selling a home, Lauren takes the stress out of the whole thing. It's a big endeavor, right? Call Lauren Wilson with At Properties, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Even if you're not pulling the trigger today or tomorrow, get a game plan in place. Lauren Wilson. 317-590-2290. All right, let's get back to the Senate races for a few minutes. Because this was all about getting rid of Bray. That's what we were told, right? And great. No complaints here from anyone on this program. Rod Bray's a turd. Rod Bray's done a lot of harm to this state. The thing you don't hear from the challengers, who you going to replace him with? Because all of the people that are in the chute to potentially replace Bray have pretty much been loyal servants to Bray. I hear the name Chris Garton all the time. Chris Garton has been there through all the past several years, all the lockdowns, the shutdowns, the mandates, the tax increases, the irresponsible government, all of it. He's been a top lieutenant to Bray. Oh, Garton this and Garton that. Well, if Garton's so great, why didn't Garton speak up before redistricting? Oh, yeah, he gave a very impassioned Mr. Smith Goes to Washington speech on redistricting. How does redistricting lower your property taxes? No. If you're going to be honest with yourselves about what you're about to get, and this is what I've been saying, people are not being honest with themselves because so much in politics is dinner theater. Our side won. Our guy won. Okay, then what? If you're being honest with yourself, why would you think that a guy that has been essentially subservient to Rod Bray is going to be any different in terms of how he actually governs the Senate once Rod Bray is not in charge anymore? Like, if you have a track record, like if you're hiring an employee or you have someone working for you and you're thinking about promoting someone and you have a track record of behavior, a track record of voting, a track record of governing. It's why, like, when all of these guys, and Garton led the charge on this year with the Medicaid reform bill. Oh, there's so much waste and fraud and abuse in the system and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, who caused it, idiot? You did. You and your buddies. And people like me who have been screaming about it for years about how Holcomb had a do-drop-in policy in 2020 and 21 and 22, throwing people on the Medicaid rolls, to think that you could shut society down, which you Republicans in the Senate and House were on board with. You did nothing to stop him. Now I'm supposed to think you're some sort of hero because 5-6 years later you're going to fix the problem that you created? No, I don't give you any credit for that. So when I look at it, it's probably going to be Garton. Okay. What's he going to do about property taxes? He and the Republicans just screwed us on property taxes. Is he Ebenezer Scrooge? Is he been visited by the ghosts of government accountability, past, present, and future? Did he wake up shouting, "I'll change, I'll change"? I'm going by how he's governed. I don't get wrapped up in speeches or ideas anymore. Braun and Beckwith were the last one for me on that, and I normally don't do it even, but I got suckered in on that one. No. I'm going on how you've actually governed, which is what I should have done with Braun, but I wanted that property tax thing fixed so bad for you guys. So I find it fascinating that none of these candidates for Senate, the challengers who won, said who they would vote for to run the Senate. But yet we're led to believe that simply getting rid of Bray is going to make everything better. We just went through this on the national level. Once McConnell's gone, it'll be better. They went with Thune, who Trump supported. Sort of seems like the Senate operates the same way. Big government, unaccountable government, big spending, skyrocketing national debt and inflation. But I thought once McConnell was gone, it was going to get better. Once Kevin McCarthy's gone, it'll be better. Well, Mike Johnson's in charge. Kind of seems like it's been the same thing. So you can hoot and holler all you want. You can do victory laps all you want. Look, redistricting's not changing in Indiana this year. The map is the map. And most states were going to change anyway going forward because of the Supreme Court ruling. So, okay. Then what? Redistricting doesn't lower your property taxes. Redistricting doesn't fix the assessment system. Redistricting doesn't lower utility bills, the giveaways to the corporate monopolies, the government giveaways, the corruption, any of it. Garton's been there for all of it. That's your boy? That's your guy? And by the way, the House didn't have hardly any challengers backed by Trump, like challenge races, right? So you're going to get the status quo on the House side, who has screwed us on all the stuff. Anyway, why would they change? Why would they change? The answer is they're not going to. I'm not about hoopla. I'm not about team sport. I'm about better government policy. And just getting rid of Rod Bray ain't going to make government any better when you're replacing him with people who were subservient yes men for most of the Bray tenure. By the way, here's what I'm most excited about next year. I'm finally off the hook. For all the people who are like, it's all your fault. You told us to vote for Braun. You're right. Like I mind warped you into doing it. Like, look at your other two options. The Democrat woman and then Rainwater, who ran his finances like a 9-year-old. Like, it's my fault. They act as though Reagan was sitting out there. Rob bullied us into doing it. It's all your fault, Rob. Great. Effective next year, I'm off the hook. Because when these Senate people don't do anything meaningful, now it'll be Turning Point USA's fault. Because they're the ones who told you to vote for them. Oh, and if they do something, then I get the credit because I'm the one that got Braun elected. So either way, I'm off the hook. I'm back to being a hero, or it ain't my fault anymore. That is what I'm most excited about. No longer Rob Kendall's the international boogeyman that ruined our existence. Thank God it's finally over. All right, I want to talk about the House races, and then I want to come back to some more local stuff, because all of these elections are local. And we got to talk about governing. Like, how do you govern? The dog has caught the car. Now what? And how long do we give these people before we say you didn't do what you promised? But let's talk about the congressional races. And before we do that, let's thank our fine friends at Bramwell Mackay. If you got a leaky chimney, water in the basement, cracks around the exterior of your home, Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants is your authority for chimney repair, tuck pointing, foundation repair, crawl space to basement conversions, basement waterproofing, and more. They don't just offer quick patches. Their team of 40-year master masons and industry experts address the root cause and provide solutions that last lifetimes. Your home is one of your biggest investments. Treat it that way. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY, your masonry and foundation and chimney specialists. So let's talk about the congressional races. This was fascinating to me. Jefferson Shreve almost got beat. Jefferson Shreve won by 3,300 votes. And he ran against a woman with very little money and 15 kids. That's like, this is wild. And one of the things I think that you see yesterday, and by the way, and we mentioned this earlier, Victoria Sparks did not get 60% of the vote, and she ran against a total unknown with no money. One of the things I think that we see as these incumbents have this armor of invincibility. And as someone who has beaten an incumbent and has beaten the system multiple times when you include the school referendums, that were also seen as inevitable in both cases when I've beat them. No one's inevitable. No one's election is inevitable. Last night, we took down my third archenemy, Ben Lacey, the unethical skid mark of Brownsburg. And I did that with just a few Facebook posts and that's about it. It was a 4-year plan. It took me 4 years to get rid of the guy. But damn it, the OCD finally paid off. We took him down. Chris Kiesler, the guy who ran against him, ran a campaign on stuff. Imagine that. Chris Kiesler, our guy out there in Brownsburg, he hit a lot of doors. And he ran on stuff. So when he wins, now he has a mandate. He ran on things like lowering property tax rates. He ran on things like ending horrible land use decisions. Like, heaven forbid we not put a warehouse or a high-density housing development on every corner. He ran on things like ending the chaos of how horribly run our government is in our community. He ran on making decisions on growth that don't cause the utility bills to go up every single year. All of these things he can now point to and go, I ran on that, I won, that's what we're doing. That's what elections should be about. That's how I did it. When I ran, people were like, you're not lowering property tax rates. I am, and here's how I'm going to do it. And year one, largest municipal property tax rate reduction in the history of the state. Because I won at a mandate and said I'm going to do it. Bam. That's how it works. These Senate people have no mandates other than redistricting, which ain't changing this year. Okay? It's a mandate on redistricting. Great. You were going to do it anyway because of the Supreme Court ruling. Now what? We believe in an era of invincibility with incumbents because they're there. And a lot of the times they're there because nobody good steps up to challenge them. Jefferson Shreve, if someone good had run against him, and I'm not saying this woman was bad, I'm just saying not the ideal person in terms of fundraising or campaigning or et cetera. She did a lot of kind of bizarre stuff. And in a protest vote, she got 47%. That's amazing. That's how much people hate Shreve. Shreve bought the House seat. Look, we all know, I'm never going to miss an opportunity to dump all over Shreve. Shreve ran for mayor of Indianapolis, and he ran around, I'm the rich guy, and I'm going to spend $1 gajillion and take out Hogsett. And people were like, whoa, cool. Marion County Republican Party sure didn't have their act together, but maybe this guy can do it on his own. And what'd he do? He was a wimp. He was a zero because he didn't really want to be the mayor of Indianapolis. It's why when he was on the stage and Phil Sanchez opened the door for him by asking Hogsett where he was during the riots, Shreve should have played whack-a-mole the rest of the debate on that. Remember the whack-a-mole game at Showbiz Pizza? Remember that? The guy probably whack him down. And what'd he do? He didn't do anything. He spent more time bitching about the animal shelter than the mayor who disappeared during the riots. Shreve didn't want to be mayor of Indianapolis. He wanted to be a congressman. And so Shreve there's no way if he wanted to be mayor, he would have run the campaign he ran, where he said, well, he ran on a more liberal gun policy than Hogsett had. Shreve recognized, because by the way, he told everyone when he was running for mayor, if I'm wrong, explain this one. When he was running for mayor, he was asked directly if he was doing this to build a profile, to run for another office. He said, no, mayor's all I want. As soon as he lost the mayor's race, he started running for Congress. Why? Because he recognized that congressional district has a portion of Indianapolis in it, which is the population center, and then it stretches across the eastern part of the state. And if I can win Indianapolis with my liberal Republican friends, I'll win the district, which is what he did. Two other legitimate candidates against him. They split the vote. He wins. He didn't get a majority or anywhere close. And so Shreve used his mayor run, that horrible, disgusting, pathetic mayoral run, and the tens of millions of dollars, he spent $16 million or something like that, to build a profile to buy a congressional seat. And what'd he do? He got in there, and his first scandal is about stocks and stock trading. That's our government. The guy's worth $1 gajillion, and he's allegedly going to be playing fast and loose with stocks, being in Congress. But yet, because he's the incumbent, he has this aura of invincibility because he's rich, and they couldn't get anybody good to run against him. Or if they had and could have raised a few bucks, they would have beat him. The same thing with Sparts. Some guy nobody knows got 40% of the vote because she's insane. And people are sick of her crap. Now, what was interesting is you got Shreve sneaking by 3,300 votes. By the way, when you talk about votes, you got to cut the number in half because it's like literally if you could have got that many people to change their mind, you win the race, right? So 3,300 votes, you cut that in half. If 3,300 people who voted for Shreve, if half of those had voted for the challenger, he would have lost. So really, 1,650 people decided the race. That's crazy to think he was that close to losing. The one race that was very interesting to me was the one where I live, which is the 4th Congressional District. Jim Baird smoked Craig Haggard. And this is one where two things can be true. By the way, our dude Piper, he got 9% of the vote, which is amazing, considering basically the only promotion he did was on our show. I think we take credit for that. I think that's the power of this program. Piper advertised here. Good wins his race. He's the one guy to survive for sure. And Piper far exceeded everyone's expectation because advertising here works, people. It just does. Ask the people who are currently doing it. Sales at robkendallshow.com. Be you candidate or business guy. We deliver. Just call us Carl Malone. We're the mailman. We deliver. And not at $11 a package. Good grief. Jim Baird beat the brakes off Craig Haggard. And two things can be true. One, I can be thrilled at that because Haggard's a loser and a liar. But also I can be pissed off about that because that means I've got another 2 years of 9,953 frank mailed pieces paid for by me, the taxpayer, campaign propaganda coming from Jim Baird. Baird was beatable. But you got to run somebody good who stands for something. And Craig Haggard was just seen as a tool of the establishment, which is too bad because he could have been the guy. Haggard came on our show and said, I'm against redistricting, and then days later changed his mind. Craig Haggard was seen as a sympathetic figure when allegedly AI porn was shared of his wife in Micah Beckwith's office. What did he do? He poses for a photo with Beckwith. People are like, you're not a dude. You're just the same as Baird. So if you're just the same as Baird, why would I vote for anyone different? Why would I do anything different than what I've done? Piper got 9% of the vote. He got totally iced out on all earned media, other than here. He didn't run ads anywhere that I'm aware of other than here. And again, we're powerful, but we're not quite that powerful. We can do some damage. But the point is, that was a protest vote. Of people saying I'm sick. It was like thing one and thing two. Haggard and Baird were thing one and thing two, and they said, we'll go with this guy. We'll go with this guy. There's so many people out there. Damn, I am so good. I am so right on so many things. I've been screaming about this for weeks now. Winning elections, if all things can be close to equal, like in terms of resources, you don't have to raise the most amount of money. It's about standing for something and giving people something to believe in. To believe in you. Come up with issues that matter to your community. And I've said, elections are door hanger elections. 3 or 4 items you can fit on a door hanger. You choose those topics and you never get off of them. And people are hungry for something real. They're hungry for something legitimate. They're hungry for someone they believe in. It's part of why I'm so interested in Greg Ballard getting on the ballot and running. Because if Ballard runs, if he gets the signatures and he gets on the ballot and he gets the 10%, now you have a viable primary ballot access third party. And primary ballot access means you start getting new, good people to potentially think about running. Serious people. No offense to my libertarian friends. There's a lot of stain with having an L next to your name. And there's some fine people who run as libertarians. And I have many friends who are libertarians. But they just after 30 plus years, you're not anything other than holding a place on a ballot, right? Look at the opportunity they had with rainwater. And they didn't do any follow-up on it. They regressed. They got such a gift there with rainwater in 2020, and they didn't do anything with it. They had that chance to be that viable third party with Jeff Moore in the Secretary of State's election in 2022. They did nothing. They did nothing. And so that's why I'm so intrigued by Ballard, is that if Ballard can get the 10% and cost Diego the election, which if he gets more than the 10%, I think he will cost Diego the election. And maybe I'll be totally surprised and the Republicans look at this and go, hey, time to get our act together. No more screwing around with Morales. We gotta jump ship. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not optimistic about that. But now you get a new landscape and you get new people to run with primary ballot access, which means they get in front of people. They can raise money. You know, I get all the time, why don't you run for governor? People like me look at things like this, right? Jason Backman, everywhere I go, I get this question. Why won't you do this? I said, it's $10 million. That's my entry fee. $10 million what I need to become governor of the state of Indiana. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm running for governor in 2 years. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying good people who have viable opportunities to be legitimate candidates for statewide public office to break up this Republican monopoly, which is what has to happen. I'm a Republican in good standing, as much as that pains everybody in the Republican establishment. I check all the boxes. Voted again in that Republican primary. But I'm not so wed to some meaningless letter that I'm not going to call out BS. I want this to stop. I want the Republicans to govern the way they campaign. But the reality is they can't and won't do it. And I've yet to be... Let's take a break, because let's talk about what happens now that these 6 Senate candidates have caught the car. And this is true with all candidates who run as insurgents, right? Who run as challengers to incumbents. Hey, you won. Now you got to govern. What does that maybe actually look like? We'll talk about that. Plus, we're going to talk about the sheriff's race in Du Bois County, because that's so fascinating to me. Oh, yeah. Maybe a little surprise later, too. A lot of that coming up. All that and more coming up next. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Your bathroom fan could be secretly costing you thousands of dollars in damages. Most people don't even know this until the damage is done. With over 18 years of bathroom remodeling experience, here are 3 signs your fan is failing you without spending a dime on inspections. Sign number 1 is if you have foggy mirrors after you shower. This shows that your fan isn't pulling out enough moisture, which creates the perfect environment for mold. If you have a properly functioning bathroom fan that is the right size for your space, you shouldn't see much fogginess on your bathroom mirror at all. Sign number 2 is if you have bubbling, cracking, or peeling paint in your bathroom. This means moisture is soaking into your walls, slowly breaking down drywall, and even causing the wood framing behind it to rot. Sign number 3 is if you have mold buildup on your fan, ceilings, or walls. This is terrible for your health, but also could wreck your bathroom, costing you a fortune. If you're noticing any of these signs, here's what you can do.
Call Vent Savvy today at 317-300-4434. That's 317-300-4434, and mention Rob for a free attic inspection.
Welcome back. Rob Kendall Show, Election Day edition. We're giving you 3 hours. Nobody else is doing it like us. Man, I almost forgot. Talking about all these people who went down last night. Bad night for Micah Beckwith's employees at the ballot box. And we're not going to miss an opportunity to talk about that and some of those people and how much they're making. Oh, it was a bad night for Beckwith, too. His sheriff guy down there in Du Bois County. Kleinhelter's right-hand guy. Dunzo. We'll talk about that. But first, by the way, a couple of reminders. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button. Don't be a freeloader. We don't ask much of you people. Oh, as you hit that little thumbs up button, it really helps us grow this program. Share the feed. Let people know we're out there. By the way, the time spent listening is incredible. It's 62 minutes. Podcasting platform to thousands of people. That was funny because these Anon people on Twitter are always my favorite. Like, it's not a real profile picture. It's not them. It's not a name, right? They're always the meanest people. And they were like, Rob's just bitter because he's not on the radio anymore. Oh, no. It's going great over here. And our goal, like we've talked about from the beginning, we have a very long-term vision of this, and it involves all sorts of different media platforms, all sorts of different areas that you've heard or seen us before. Maybe you'll hear and see us again in the not-too-distant future. This is about growth and creating something to get the word out across our entire state about Indiana news and politics and government, a little national thrown in. By the way, we're 3 hours now, thanks to our friend John Rust, generously allowing us. We were 10 to noon, now 9 to noon. And so we are so happy with what's going on here, but we got to keep growing. And that's where we need you guys to like, to share, and subscribe to help us grow these programs. Let's talk about what happens next now that we have these winners in these Republican primaries. But first, are you already talking with a lender when it comes to your home? It never hurts to get a second opinion. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage works with home buyers and homeowners throughout central Indiana, helping them purchase homes, investment properties, refinance, consolidate debt through their mortgage when it makes sense, and a bunch more. Gary believes mortgage strategy, the right mortgage strategy, can make a big difference over time. Do you have questions? Not sure where to start? This is how this works. Go to loansbygary.homes to learn more, loansbygary.homes to learn more, or call today, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, in MLS, number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, in MLS, number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender. So in any election, you win, and then what? You won. Congratulations. Now what? And this is the biggest problem I see with people who win elections, people who even run on the right stuff. They have zero idea how to implement, how to make change out of their victory. And this is the question that everyone should be asking these Senate challengers who won. Now what? Redistricting is no longer an answer. That's over. It's done with. It's done. Just like running against the guy you beat is no longer an answer. It's done. It's one of the frustrating things with Trump is that he keeps mentioning Biden. I don't care about Biden anymore. I don't care. You've been there a year and a half. It's you. No longer do we accept. By the way, there's a couple of these Republicans who could go down in the fall. Nobody's talking about that for some reason, which is very odd. There's a couple of senators or the challengers who won in somewhat bluish or going blue districts. You could end up potentially with a Democrat in the fall. I'm not saying you will, but the Northwest Indiana ones could happen. But let's just say all six we end up with 6 across the finish line. What are they going to do? These people now, in a unified voice, if it's actually about fixing the Senate, if it's actually about fixing the government, should within the next 2 weeks, in a unified group-style press conference, reminiscent of the contract with America, come out and say, we are demanding in a block, in a group, that these things happen next year. And if Braun actually gives a damn about you, which we know he doesn't, he will be there with them. We have won. We are working with the governor. We demand these things from the Indiana Senate next year, and we will require any Senate leader consent to these things publicly before we will vote for them. My thing with you guys from the beginning on these Senate challengers is I think they're fraudsters, a bunch of them. I think they're highly fraudulent. I don't think they're about you. I think they're about them. Here's their opportunity to prove me wrong. And if they do this, I'll say, okay, great. Because I didn't hear it during the campaign from any of them. And it's not enough to say we're demanding property tax cuts. No, what are you demanding? What policy are you demanding? Because we heard from Braun, I'm going to cut the property taxes. What did we get? Higher property taxes. No. Like the contract with America, specific things that you are going to demand from the new Senate leader in order to secure your vote. With Braun there, so we're all on the same page. I don't think you're going to get that because I think you're going to see more of the status quo. Like, again, I just come back to if someone doesn't, Campaign is a job interview. That's what it is. It's the ultimate job interview. It's you applying for a position, and the board of directors is the voters at large. Now, you look at voter participation across the state, it's abysmal. But not the fault of the challengers. Like, I kind of had a feeling when I was seeing the early voting numbers outside of Marion County. By the way, we have not mentioned the best part of Election Day. Destiny Wells went down again. She is now the Buffalo Bills of Indiana politics. 4-time loser. Destiny Wells. This is incredible, guys. In a matter of 5 years, she's lost 4 times. 22, she lost the Secretary of State's race. 24, she lost the AG race. 25, she lost the party chair race. 26, she lost a race for Congress. And other than the party chair race, because there's just not that many people that vote, she got smoked in every single one of them. That's amazing. Somebody tweeted a meme. It was an altered photo. It was a news headline, something like Destiny Wells declares run for Indianapolis mayor last night. It was great. Whoever did that, kudos on that person. It's the best part of Twitter last night. I was like, I can't not let that go on. She lost again. 4 times in 5 years. Like, you would have to try to do that. And again, other than the party chair race, which because like 9 people voted on that, none of them were close. Carson smoked her last night. Smoked her. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But to Wells' credit, she was probably the most entertaining part of Twitter during this election cycle because she actually laid some gloves on Carson. She said some obvious things about Carson and who he is. Be interesting to see if she stands behind that once the dust clears. But coming back to governance, right? That's what this should all be about. It should all be about your victory meaning something. And with these candidates, I don't see what their victory meant because there was no specific policies other than redistricting that they're going to do. What is your plan for property taxes? That was a huge issue. The way these incumbents voted on property taxes. And yet now one of these candidates has a specific plan to fix the issue. This is a party that collectively is about tax increases and growth of government. When you have overwhelming votes for bad public policy, you can't hang it on 6 guys or 6 girls or whatever. And again, in the middle of all of this soup, in the middle of all of this stew, you have Trump endorsing people who have done bad stuff. Ron Alting, Liz Brown. He endorsed them because they voted for redistricting. They've done horrible harm to our state. Are we celebrating that? Are we championing that? Are we doing victory laps on that? When I won my election, I had a core set of things I said we're going to do. And within the first 2 years, we had done most of them. Whether you like them or not, they were specific things I campaigned on. And I said, we've won. We were victorious. We were overwhelmingly victorious. And the first thing I did is I went to town leadership and I said, under new management, here's what we're doing. The first thing I did was stop about a $5 million giveaway to the school corporation. That was the very first thing I did before I'd even been elected. When town management said, I said, you don't have to do anything I say yet because I'm not in there, but I'm going to remember what you do between now and the first of the year. And we're setting an agenda. And the agenda is tax relief, tax reform, infrastructure investment with the dollars we have. And I said, you can give this money away for this project if you want. I will remember. And I will be in charge January 1st. And they stopped it. And because we were able to use that and move money around and other things, then we did that massive tax cut the first year. Those are specific. It's get to work time. You take a day to celebrate, get to work, whether you want it at a town level, a city level, a county level, a state level. The victory shouldn't be about politics. The victory should be about public policy. I have not seen public policy for most of these people. So it'll be fascinating to see exactly what they come up with. If they're serious, and I know they'll hear this, if you guys are actually serious about making a difference in the Indiana Senate, if you're actually serious about making a difference in the lives of Hoosiers, if you're actually serious about fighting back and fixing things that your opponents did, within the next 2 weeks, you will call a joint press conference with the governor who backed all of you guys. So it's not like he wouldn't want to be there. And you will lay out your specific demands from any person who wants to be president of the Senate. And specific votes you will take, and policy issues with specifics. That's the key that you're going to put forward next year. We'll find out. If they don't do it, it was all about them. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Hey, guys, here's something most homeowners don't realize. When your home was built, there's a good chance the bathroom was the cheapest option the builder could get away with. That means undersized, poorly vented, and not really designed to handle the amount of moisture your bathroom produces. Over time, that can lead to problems you won't see until they're very expensive to fix. That's where Vent Savvy comes in. Vent Savvy specializes in upgrading those systems the right way. Go to ventsavvy.com, VENTSAVVY.com, and make sure your fan is doing what it's supposed to do. Ventsavvy.com, VENTSAVVY.com. Make sure your fan is doing what it's supposed to do. And look, guys, I'm going to come back to something I talked about earlier. We have to get off redistricting being the thing. Because if redistricting was the thing, public enemy number 1 and public enemy number 2 were Greg Good and Spencer Deary. Holdman got smoked. Walker got smoked. Buck got smoked. We laid out the specific local issues and problems with those people and why they lost. Spencer Deary is winning his race. If he loses, it'll be by a vote or two. And Greg Good won easily. If redistricting was the thing that drove everyone, why are those two the guys that are winning? They were the most targeted, the most amount of money pouring in, the most publicity. Scott Pressler, Trump, all these people, right? Putting pressure on these two guys. They're the two that are hanging on. If it was about redistricting, why are 1A and 1B still the two that are winning? I welcome the answer to that. If it was a universal vote against redistricting, they all should have gone down. It wasn't. And we're doing a huge disservice to our state to act like it was. Redistricting brought money. Redistricting brought resources. Redistricting brought Trump, which got people out to get the word out. And by the way, if you look at the campaigns these people ran, yeah, redistricting was there because that was the have to. But what they run on? They ran on things like gas tax. By the way, heard gas tax ads on almost all these people. The Buck, that was all 24/7. Walker, 24/7. I look forward to repeal of the gas tax increase being part of that joint little press conference those people put out. Because aren't we serious about that? You'll find out real quick about what they do with the gas tax. About whether we were just dinner theater or we're about fixing things for people. Okay. We're going to take a break. When we're going to come back, I talked about it was a great night for me last night. 3 of my arch nemesis went down. Holdman, down. Property tax guy, down. Diego, down. Smoked in his delegate race. The unethical skid mark of Brownsburg, Ben Lacey, down. Should I tell the Lacey story again? Is that interesting? Should I? So many people were so into that on the radio show. I'm going to do that when we come back. Moment of personal privilege. And then we're going to talk about all of the Beckwith people who lost last night, including Omar and his big fat mouth. Yeah. We'll talk about that next. Tell Beckwith and his buddies, because we all know they're not working hard for us. Tell them to get over here, because they're coming up next. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with App Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
Rob Kendall Show. Stick around. Coming up, if you're new here, towards the end of the program, we wrap up making you the star. Producer Jason, he reads the best YouTube comments of the day, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. And in order to be in the YouTube chat, it's a cool community. It's a fun community. And all you got to do, subscribe to the channel. That's what you got to do. Subscribe to our channel. And you can play along with the friends in there. And if you're really good, maybe get your comment read towards the end of the show. I get a couple of reminders. Hit the thumbs up button if you're new here. If you're just popping in, hit the thumbs up button. Let us know you like this program. It so helps us grow the show. Share the feed. We're doing 3 hours a day. Predominantly local Indiana news and politics and government. If you're new here, and we got new listeners, new viewers today, welcome to our show. Thanks for being with us. Rob Kendall is my name. Where'd my water? There it is. Holy smokes. The set looks fabulous. We got a fern now.
Grew quick.
Now we can get back to our guests. And we're going to be putting the interviews back in, all sorts of stuff, man. It's just awesome. The show is going great, and it's thanks to you guys. Just a reminder as well, we got the live show coming up, June the 27th. As charismatic as I am on your computer or phone screen, 100 times better in person. Live show coming up, June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club in Greenwood. And we will be there. Producer Jason will be there. It's going to be a rocking time. One-man live show, bringing the smoke on the politicians, having some jokes, having some laughs, having some Rob Kendall origin stories. Man, it was just so much fun when we did that one back in March. We're doing it again as a thank you to you guys for helping grow this incredible program. So we will see you guys June the 27th. I've got the link up to get tickets at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. And also, go to madhattershows.com. MADHATTER shows.com. Last time, some people waited, couldn't get tickets. And every time we'd open them up, they'd get snatched up right away. So we anticipate that happening again. Don't wait. Get them. Let's rock out. Let's have a good evening together, June the 27th. All right. So I should do the Lacey story, right? Is that what you're saying? I mean, it's my show, right? I think I've crapped enough for a few minutes anyway on all the sort of the standard operating procedure. Admit it. You guys were like, he can't do 3 hours on the election. I could do 5 hours on the election. I started doing notes last night. You guys see I got a few here. I was finally just like, why am I doing these notes? Like, what am I doing? I know what I'm going to do. It was 2 a.m. I'm sitting there. You guys have this thing, like I have this deal where sometimes, like especially when things I get fired up about, like I just can't go to bed. Like I just know. Wife about 10:30, she's like, I'm going to bed. She said, I'll see you when I see you. I said, probably not anytime soon. And I just love, like, there's nothing better than Twitter on a night where people you despise went down. Like, that's where I'm at in the political world. I think I said this on one of the YouTube the Facebook or Twitter videos I did earlier. I said, I've given up on meaningful change out of the people I elect. Like, they just all have let me down so many times. That's why I don't endorse anymore. I'll tell you who I vote for, which I did this time, but I don't endorse anymore because I'm going to get screwed. The Beckwith Braun was the end of it for me. Speaking of Beckwith, bad night for his guys. I can't wait to tell you about that. Including that fat-mouthed Omar getting smoked in his delegate race. Smoked. So now I just cheer for people I despise to get unelected. And it was a good night for that last night. It was a good night for that last night. Everybody should be asking Diego Morales, as the supposedly lion of the Republican Party who's beloved by everyone, how did you get roasted in your delegate race? Somebody from the media has to ask him that. Not only did he not get elected, he can't vote for himself at the convention. That's awesome. Diego Morales or his wife will not be able to vote for him at the convention. That's great. And everyone should be asking him, how did you lose so badly amongst the people who know you? All right, so let's tell I said there were three arch nemesis that went down last night. Travis Holdman, the senator from Northeast Indiana, he screwed everyone on the property taxes. That was his bill that emanated in the Senate. And I told you guys on the radio show at the time. So go back in time on this because I know we got a few minutes here. Braun's people basically sent me over what the framework of the property tax bill was going to be. And they said, Holdman's going to carry the bill. Okay, great. You know, he's been there forever. He's the head of the tax committee in the Senate. Okay, makes sense. He rolls out the bill, and he did that rollout. Like, they took forever. Do you guys remember this? This is when I knew things were starting to get squirrely, even before they even started, because they took forever to roll the language of that bill out. And I kept going, what is going on here? What is going on here? Like, at the time, I'm naively thinking, okay, Braun wins. He runs on property tax reform. Everybody's going to be on board with Braun's bill. Let's go. I'm thinking day one, here comes the bill. And it was like, if I recall, it was like almost a month before the bill finally got rolled out in the Senate. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And he rolled that bill out with all the enthusiasm of dried glue. And I was like, oh, this is not good at all. And they were like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. The Braun bill, it'll be great. I was like, oh, no. Grandpa doesn't seem like he wants to be here. This is not good. If that's the author of the bill and that's all the damn he gives, oh, no, this is going to go very bad for Rob and the people of Indiana. And we were right. So Holdman goes down because of property taxes. Arch nemesis number one, check. Diego, smoked in the delegate race. Check. Number three, and this was probably my favorite one of all, old Lion Ben Lacey went down in the Brownsburg Town Council race. I said, if you guys hear me every day or you see me every day and you want to do an early Christmas present for Uncle Rob, you vote against Ben Lacey. And you guys did it. That was awesome. That was so great. So you guys, many of you remember this story, right? So, and it this pains me because Ben Lacey is a Brownsburg Town Councilman. He was he was a great high school basketball player in Brownsburg when I was a kid. I used to grow up watching him. And he gets elected to the town board. And I know Ben's dad. Ben's dad is an awesome guy. And he was a big part of our referendum group. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. This guy I grew up watching play basketball. His dad's a rock solid dude. Like, he's going to be awesome. He's going to go in there, kick some ass, and take some names. And then I find out, and the reason I found this out is the town council gave themselves massive raises. And their reason for giving themselves raises was, we got to recruit better people to run for public office. That was their reason. That was what they hung their hat on. We have to bribe. We're doing such a bad job that we have to bribe people to run for public office. And it was like, wait a second. You're indicting yourself, but you're the ones that are going to get the raise. Yeah, but we got to get better people to run. Well, why don't you put in there that we don't get the raise and it's the next people get elected? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. Because they wanted the money. And he voted to give himself that money. So I started digging into this guy. I was like, why would he do this? He said he was going to be, a good council member. He's going to be a good steward of public money. He was going to do all these things. So I started digging into him. And at the same meeting they gave themselves the raise, they took this mysterious bond the town did not to exceed $4 million. And it was like 1 minute of conversation. There were no details, and they took the bond. And me's watching because now I'm paying attention on this raise thing. And I'm like, that seems like a giant red flag. If we're going to spend $4 million, shouldn't we be telling people what it's going for and what we're doing? I was like, I'm going to start digging into that. And so come to find out, the town was spending up to $4 million to buy a dilapidated car wash and a couple other buildings, bulldoze them over, and do something unknown with it. And I have lived in that town for 40 years, and I was like, no one is clamoring to buy this car wash. Why are we spending $4 million as a town to do this? And you couldn't get a straight answer. I was like, if there's a private sector person, they're like, well, we're concerned somebody might buy it and do something we don't want. Like what? Whatever they'd have to do with it, you'd have to approve it. If they need a zoning change or plat or plat approval or whatever. And what's the worst they could do? Buy it and leave it as a car wash or a car lot. And there were other things being done there. That's the worst that could happen. Why would the town be involved in spending this amount of money? If a private person wants to buy it, they'll buy it. If there's no one to buy it, why are we buying it? And what are we doing with it? And they're like, oh, well, there's this private developer that wants to come in and do a mixed use development. Oh, okay. Who are they? Well, we're not going to tell you. Okay. Well, if they want to build a mixed use development, why are we buying it? Well, we have to facilitate the sale. Why? Well, we're not going to tell you. It's like, this is the biggest sack of crap I've ever heard in my entire life. The town has to buy a piece of property, demolish it for a private developer to come in and develop it, but you won't tell me why the town has to be the middleman. Yeah, that's right. And you won't tell me who the developer is. Yeah, that's right. And by the way, 4 years later, that's still an empty patch of grass. Oh, and then we got told, well, that developer fell through. So we spent $4 million on an empty patch of grass. We spent $4 million to facilitate a development and be a middleman for reasons that won't be disclosed to a person that didn't come through on their end of the bargain. Yes, that's correct. Okay, that's bad enough. Then I start digging into why someone would be that stupid to vote for that. And it turns out, we found out, Ben Lacey was part owner in a building that essentially backed right up to that property. A block building. I think it's like a hair and nail place. And it was like, wait a second. Oh, by the way, Ben, you know who stooged on you? Your dad. Your dad's who told me you own that building. So you want to be mad about the last 4 years of me bitching about you? Blame your old man. So we start digging into this, and it turns out this guy, Ben Lacey, he didn't disclose that he owned that building. He didn't file a conflict of interest form, and he didn't recuse himself from voting on taking the $4 million bond. So you have a guy who owns a building right next to a property where the town is spending $4 million to conceptually facilitate a giant mixed-use development, which would add value, I think if you have any common sense, to every property around it. And the guy didn't tell anybody that he owned the building, didn't file the conflict of interest form, and didn't recuse himself from voting on it. Yeah, really pissed me off, because it seems like you're using your government position to potentially down the road enrich yourself. And so I spent the past 4 years pointing this out to as many people as I possibly could, what this guy did. And yesterday, it finally paid off. Ha! Finally paid off. And now that we got some good people in there, maybe we'll finally get all the answers on what's going on with that property. Maybe we'll finally find out who the developer was. Maybe we'll finally find out why it's still an empty patch of grass. Maybe we'll finally find out why we paid $4 million for it. Maybe we'll finally find out what role Ben Lacey had in all of that. I'm very excited for the future of our town. Nothing may improve quality of life-wise, but at least it's going to be entertaining for me. All right. Just basically like it's this like a Festivus portion of the show. It's the airing of grievances. All right. This is what you guys came for. Let's be honest. Yeah, you guys pretend to be interested in the Senate stuff. You want to see me roast some people. Before we do that, though, because I'm going to talk about the Beckwith people going down. This was great. Let's talk about Seal Now. Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salts, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. And they do more than just concrete. They do decks, they do fences, they do pergolas. Any exterior concrete or wood outdoor structure that needs cleaned or maintained, Seal Now are your guys. Call today, sealnow.com, SEALNOW.com. Not only you get a free estimate, see what your project might look like. Some other people have done similar things. You get a free estimate. And if you mention to Seal Now, hey, I heard about you guys on the Rob Kendall Show, you're going to get 20% off any long-term ceiling project. 20% off any long-term ceiling project. Okay. Let's talk about the Beckwith people going down last night. It was a rough night because Beckwith's going to take a victory lap on these Senate people. Let's talk about how the people he supported did. So let's talk about our friends, and let's start before we get to the Beckwith employees. Let's talk about this guy he endorsed. And again, I remind you guys, last night was about local issues. State Senate offices, state House offices are about local issues. If you need any further proof, look to our state House race. Jeff Thompson almost got beat last night. It's the closest race he's ever had. He's the head of Ways and Means. He's never had a close race in the 28 years he's been in the House. He almost went down last night to some woman. Nobody knew who she was, and she ran a horrible campaign. Another one just like with the Shreve stuff. Why? Because Jeff Thompson has pissed everybody off in the town of Brownsburg by screwing the local school system. And there's only one person that has ever consistently beat the Brownsburg school system, and that's me. And so the people there, the school system, put the word out against this guy. Our side of Rob Kendall and the school system came together. That's how bad Jeff Thompson is. And yet Thompson had the endorsement of all the people, had the backing of all the people. He almost lost. Why? Because he pissed a bunch of people off locally. He never had a close race before. He almost got beat by an unknown because he made people in the communities he serves mad on key issues. And so let's go to Du Bois County, where you want to talk about local issues. So we have talked about the Kleinhelter stuff ad nauseum, right? Tom Kleinhelter, Braun's buddy, Braun's political ally, the totally corrupt sheriff down there in Du Bois County, who now facing a felony charge up here in Marion County, other charges in Marion County related to not telling the truth to the cops in the investigation about him pilfering the money from the commissary there in Du Bois County. 80-page probable cause affidavit he was facing that just magically went away when Braun became the governor. It's pretty wild, right? Well, anyway, Kleinhelter's guy was running for sheriff, and he got smoked. Jesus Menarez, I think is how you pronounce this guy's name, Monarrez. He was the chief deputy in Du Bois County, Kleinhelter's guy. He got roasted. Tim Lampert was the guy who beat him. 61% of the vote, Menarez, 25%. Yikes. You know who's so the big supporter of Menarez? Beckwith. Beckwith was all in on Menarez. Roasted. Why? Because nobody cares about the endorsements. Nobody cares. They care about local stuff. And I keep coming back to this. People know who this guy was and who he's connected with. And he's buddies with Kleinhelter. And like, we're done with Kleinhelter. We're turning over a new leaf. We're going with somebody different. Anybody connected to this guy? Poison. So if we're going to say that all the endorsements matter, they make all the difference, what happened here? What happened here? The article the Indy Star did with the Greg Good Senate district and the reporting that Adam Wren did for Politico showed the Trump endorsement wasn't making a difference in those races. In Terre Haute and Lafayette. It didn't matter. Spencer Deary is winning by a couple votes. He may ultimately lose, don't know. Greg Good won easily. Trump was all in on their opponents. It's local issues. The two guys who didn't make anybody mad locally are the two guys who are currently winning. It's really that simple. The two guys who didn't make anybody mad, who hadn't been there very long, are winning. Of course, certainly Trump's endorsement gets some people to vote for them, and in a super close race like Liz Brown. By the way, the legacy of the Trump endorsement in Indiana should be Liz Brown and Ron Alting. For all the people doing the victory laps about the Trump endorsements, those two idiots are still going to be in the Senate in all likelihood. Are we proud of that? Are we okay with that? Are we all right with that? Saw this in Du Bois County. Local matters. Beckwith endorses other guy, smoked. No one cares about the national stuff. For the most part, they don't care about the state stuff other than how state stuff affects them. And the people in Southwest Indiana, as we've laid out to you, they have reached the up for which they cannot stand. And so they rejected that. Endorsements, they don't mean a whole lot. They don't mean a lot. And by the way, let's think about this. There was $13.5 million spent on 9 Senate races. $13.5 million spent on 9 Senate races. That's insane. Indiana state Senate races. If the goal was to win the congressional seat, why wasn't it spent there? Okay, you won the Senate seats. Now what? Other than redistricting, what's Trump's issue with Indiana? Man, if Trump were like, your property taxes are out of control, we're campaigning on that, great, I'm in. If Trump was like, these utility bills have reached maddening prices, we got to stop the utility cartel, I'm in. If Trump was like, these tolls you guys are asking for are outlandish, and the fact that you're raising people's taxes to fund the Bears Stadium is outlandish, I'm in. Great. Not any of that. It's redistricting. He's done. It was a stick measuring contest, and Trump won, and now he's done. He's not going to be back here to help us with any of those issues. Local matters. Local issues matter. Local people matter. Local engagement matters. Okay, so that was fail number 1 for the Beckwith people. Fail number 2. Oh, this brings me such joy. Micah's fat-mouthed friend Omar went down in his delegate race. You guys have probably seen Omar before. He's the big both in size and in mouth guy that is obnoxiously loud everywhere he goes. He's listed, according to Micah's, the website, the lieutenant governor's website, as the research director. We pay him as taxpayers, according to the state website, $80,000 a year plus benefits. My question is, what does he do all day? What does he research all day for $80,000? Because clearly he couldn't even do a simple Google search when Micah accepted a lavish gift and went to the NBA Finals with a high-profile known felon. A guy with a rap sheet that reads like a CVS receipt. All you got to do is put his name in. Clearly, Omar couldn't even Google that because Beckwith's story was, me have no idea about known felon I hang out with. By the way, how concerning is that? That you have the number 2 guy in our state consorting with a known felon, and his excuse was, I didn't know. Not like the guy's under a new name. It's not like you have to look hard. I don't know what's more concerning, that they knew and he went anyway, or the lieutenant governor is just running around with anyone and everyone who offers him a ticket to a ball game. Like, think about that, guys. That's the 2 options our lieutenant governor left us with his refusal to tell a consistent, coherent story on Micah Beckwith going to the NBA Finals with a high-profile known felon. By the way, you want to know what that guy went down with the feds for? Because he went down for a whole bunch of stuff. But the Fed version? Bribery. Yeah, that's right. You want your politicians running around with people who went down for bribery? That what you want? So my question is, if Omar, Micah's fat-mouthed loud friend, is the research director, is he not researching the people that Micah's running around with, accepting lavish gifts from? And if he ain't doing that, what's he doing all day? And by the way, have you ever noticed the Beckwith people? They get really angry when you ask just like logical questions like, what do you do for your $80,000? Like, because, like, I think Al Capone had a business card that said furniture salesman. Do we think Al Capone was selling furniture? Yeah, I don't care what it says on the website. That's always an excuse. It says right here what he does. No, it says the title. What does he do? What does Omar do all day? Apparently, the voters in his delegate district thought he didn't do crap because he got smoked. He got smoked. Victory lap number 1 of Beckwith employee failing miserably. So Omar can do a lot, but he won't be voting at the state convention. Well, I guess he could get appointed. Who knows? Anyway, victory lap number 2 of Beckwith employee failing miserably. Christy Risk went down in flames in her state Senate race. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Christy Risk. Christy Risk is listed on the state website, Beckwith's website, as the Governmental Affairs Director. I don't know what she does, but she makes $84,000 a year. Now, Christy Risk is especially bad because she knows what sort of a scumbag Micah and a bunch of his staff are. But she won't speak up about it publicly. That's why Christy Risk, and I've told you guys this story before, Christy Risk met with me across from the State House one day. I've told this story before, trying to get me information about just how rotten Beckwith and his buddies are. And she was singing like a canary until, and I've told this story before, the guy who was alleged to have shared the AI porn in Beckwith's office walked in. And I thought his eyes, remember in Who Framed Roger Rabbit when Judge Doom finally turns into the cartoon and the eyes blow out of his head? I thought both of them were going to turn into Judge Doom, both Risk and the guy staring at each other. Remember that? Remember the guy who was alleged to have shared AI porn of Craig Haggard's wife in Micah's office? Yeah, they're looking at each other, and she's sitting at a table with me singing like a canary. So she knows what the people in that office are. She knows. And apparently, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, did Micah even endorse her in that race? He's throwing out endorsements left and right. Did Micah even endorse Christy Risk in her Senate race? Your employees running? Was there an endorsement from her? I didn't see it. I would thought he'd been shouting that out loud and proud. Now, if anything I've said is wrong about Omar, about Christy Risk, if any of Micah's three comms people, because Micah has 3 people on the taxpayer dole, comms people, would like to refute or respond to any of this, because they're not good at responding. Micah, not good. The 3 comms people, not good. By the way, I'm including with this Jeff Boggs, listed as the comms director. You guys may know Boggs by his Twitter account, Not Kenny Rogers. Boggs makes $95,000 a year. Not 3 comms guys. Boggs makes $95,000 a year. He's the head honcho. You know what Boggs did before being the head comms guy for Micah? He used to appear. This is my favorite part. These guys, these Beckwith and his people, crap talk WIBC all the time. And then you know how they found out about Boggs? He was a fill-in guy on IBC. That's how hypocritical and disingenuous the Beckwith people are. Once, because here's what happened at IBC. This is why he runs to WoWo now. Beckwith runs to WoWo because all the IBC people figured him out. I, of course, figured him out. Casey had to leave the room, but she figured him out. Katz figured him out. Hammer and Nigel figured him out. Kennett figured him out. Everybody at IBC figured out how full of crap he was, so he couldn't run to us anymore. That's why he runs to WoWo now, because they won't challenge him. They just go, Same reason Morales goes to WoWo. They won't push back on him. We figured it out. So they started saying bad stuff about IBC because we weren't carrying the water. Once we figured out what Beckwith and his people were, we started calling them out. And look, full disclosure, I should have seen it from the beginning. But Boggs got on their radar because he was filling in with Hammer and Nigel. So they're crap talking IBC to people. And then they hire a guy as the comms director who got on their radar because he's a fill-in guy on IBC. Now, Boggs' background is that he was a writer for Letterman and a reality TV show guy. Now, why would Beckwith want a writer for Letterman and a reality TV show guy as his comms director? You know why? Because Beckwith wants to be on a reality TV show. Hey, Boggs, if you want to refute any of this, come in. Let's talk about it. Micah knows he's donezo after one term. From the moment he got in there, he's been plotting for himself. Ask Boggs, not Kenny Rogers on Twitter. Ask Beckwith why he hired a guy from WIBC who he hates IBC. And why would he hire a guy whose background is working for Letterman and as a reality TV show guy? Oh, by the way, the other two comms people. Oh, and Boggs, I know you can get me on Twitter, but if you want to email me, it's rob@robkendallshow.com. rob@robkendallshow.com. I bet I don't hear a peep from these people. Boggsy or Graham or Caitlin. By the way, I added up the cost of the 3 comms people. I don't know why Beckwith has 3 comms people. What does he communicate? I mean, Jason, he does that horrible podcast, that Ask Micah Anything, where he cherry picks comments. He does that like once a month. We do a daily podcast. I don't think you need 3 people to do it. But I added up what Boggsy and Graham and Caitlin are making. Caitlin and Graham looks like make $72 apiece. So Beckwith is paying 3 comms people, for what I don't know, $239,000 plus benefits. 3 comms people. But he supposedly fired Aaron Sheridan because he wanted to save money. You remember Aaron Sheridan? She's the one who blew the whistle allegedly on the alleged sharing of AI porn in the lieutenant governor's office. Then, of course, Beckwith hired Paula Copenhaver, who basically replaced Aaron, but firing Aaron was about saving money. Certainly couldn't have been the fact that she kept telling those guys things they shouldn't be doing, trying to keep them in line. Could be the fact that she told the story about AI porn being shared in the lieutenant governor's office, which she claims allegedly happened. She told the story in great detail. But he has 3 comms people making combined, according to my math, and again, I'm a product of the public school system, $239,000. You know, I guess, I've been thinking about this, I guess it may take 3 people to come up with the strategy to say nothing about Micah standing behind Nathan Peternell after he covered up his son being a dangerous child predator from the church. Maybe you need 3 people making $239,000 plus benefits to come up with that strategy. But a bad night for Beckwith and his buddies, and that's awesome. All right, let's take a break. I've got some more to get off my chest when we come back. Plus, Jason is going to have the best YouTube comments of the day. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
If authentic wood-smoked barbecue is your thing, Double D's Barbecue in Clayton is the place for you. Owners Dennis and Tina Duncan, along with their son Garrett, are from Memphis. So when it comes to barbecue, they're not screwing around. No pellet smokers, no roasters, just authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue. All of Double D's food is cooked fresh daily, and it's all made from scratch. Double D's Barbecue, located at 40 and 39 in Clayton, is open all day, Wednesday through Saturday, but get there early because once they're sold out, they're done. Check out the full menu, ribs, brisket, and more at ddbbq317.com.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
With a lakefront view in beautiful Brazil, the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage is a little out of the way, but totally worth the trip. Down home, made from scratch food, just like the good old days at Grandma's. When you visit the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage, you'll leave more at peace than when you came in. Open 5 to 8 for dinner on Friday and Saturday, and Sundays 11 to 1:30 for the buffet. You must experience the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage. Call 812-443-3003. 812-443-3003.
Your bathroom fan could be secretly costing you thousands of dollars in damages. Most people don't even know this until the damage is done. With over 18 years of bathroom remodeling experience, here are 3 signs your fan is failing you without spending a dime on inspections. Sign number 1 is if you have foggy mirrors after you shower. This shows that your fan isn't pulling out enough moisture, which creates the perfect environment for mold. If you have a properly functioning bathroom fan that is the right size for your space, you shouldn't see much fogginess on your bathroom mirror at all. Sign number 2 is if you have bubbling, cracking, or peeling paint in your bathroom. This means moisture is soaking into your walls, slowly breaking down drywall, and even causing the wood framing behind it to rot. Sign number 3 is if you have mold buildup on your fan, ceilings, or walls. This is terrible for your health, but also could wreck your bathroom, costing you a fortune. If you're noticing any of these signs, here's what you can do.
Call Vent Savvy today at 317-300-4434. That's 317-300-4434, and mention Rob for a free attic inspection.
Rob Kendall Show. Man, what a show today. God, this has been fun. Man, this is the show I always dreamed of doing, and now we can do it every single day. I would have just loved to have been able to do this show my entire life. And now we can do it. We can talk about the key issues, and we can talk about them the way we want to talk about them. We can talk about the things we want to talk about. It's what we're doing. And I'm glad you guys are here with us. If you haven't done so yet, help us out. Hit that little like button. Hit that like button. We need to get to how many? 300. Oh, we got to get to 300 by the end of the show. Jason says he's not coming on for the YouTube chat unless we get to 300 likes. So if you have not liked yet, you're holding up other people getting to hear their name. Do you really want that on your conscience the rest of the day? Do you really want that on your conscience the rest of the day? Yeah, I don't think you do. Hit the like button. Do your part to help this little program grow. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put just a little recap on the elections itself. And then I know, there's so many comments today. And so we'll get to the YouTube comments, read those, talk about those. If you're new to the program, welcome. That's how we wrap up our show every day. We reward our fabulous YouTube chatters who do such an awesome job engaging in this program. And that's what we do. You got to be a subscriber, though, in order to chat, to be a part of the program. Producer Jason goes through, he monitors it, chooses the best comments of the day, and then we roll. Then we roll with it. Okay. So just kind of put a bow on what happened last night. Incumbents lost. And that's a good thing. If the challengers stand for something. And this has been my frustration for months now, and you guys know this, is that I don't see what the challengers, other than redistricting and making Trump happy, are actually about. I hope with all of my heart that they are about property tax reform, about fixing the assessment crisis, about stopping the rubber stamp that the IURC has been and the legislature has been for the utility industry, which is crushing us. I hope they are about being an investigative body that will break down and reform the IEDC, maybe kill it altogether. I hope they're a pushback on giving billions of dollars of money from poor and middle class people to mega corporations like the Chicago Bears, tax increases on regular people to help the Chicago Bears, tax increases on regular people to go to road projects that benefit the governor's business. But I don't know, because they're in bed with the governor. So I don't see them actually. See, this is the problem. Braun and Bray aren't all that different. The redistricting, they're different, but the policies ain't that different. And now they're in bed with Braun because a lot of Braun's money. We talk about Trump and his endorsement and his money. Braun spent a lot of money to get these people across the finish line. His groups. Nikki Kelly laid that out for us the last time she was here. And when you do that, when it happens, you then lose your ability to challenge the people because you're kind of bought and sold. So the question becomes, what do we get out of this? What ultimately happens for us? Ain't no tears here, and I've said the same thing for months. Ain't no tears here for me that Holdman and Walker and Buck, any of these incumbents that went down, ain't no tears. But I'm not going to be happy if we just replace it with the same thing, just with a new name. It's what Braun did with the IEDC. Remember, we're going to audit them. We're going to change the IEDC. We're going to reinvent the thing. We're going to make nothing's changed. It's the same giveaway factory it's always been to the same types of people. Just new people making the decisions. There's nothing meaningful that's changed because of that audit. So if these challengers, and we'll know very soon based on how they respond in the next few weeks, come out in a meaningful, organized voice to stop the insanity, to push back on the insanity, to fight for us, then I'll be very happy. If we don't get that, then it's irrelevant to me. You just replaced one group with the same other group. And like I said, I've laid out what needs to happen if these people are serious and they need to get going on it. Number one, in a unified voice, a unified group, they need to say who they're going to support for Senate leadership as a block. And then we can judge that person based on their record. They need to talk about the top specific issues they are going to demand that new Senate leader address and how they're going to address them. That's totally within their control. It's not gotcha. It's not irrelevant. It's not anything. It's meaningful change that is being proposed. It's meaningful public policy that people voted on. If these people think that redistricting was the driving force, they're sorely mistaken. I want better lives for us. People last night, I bet Rob this. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I have major concerns, as I've laid out today, that these people aren't going to do anything different. So yeah, big deal to me. I've been around this long enough to see who I think is serious about doing stuff for the people and who's serious for themselves. A lot of these people come off as being kind of serious for themselves or getting in the office and not really serious about meaningful policy change. Prove me wrong. These guys get up there and do that and they go fight. I'll gladly say it. I'll say, great, I was dead wrong on this. These guys are awesome. It doesn't hurt me because somebody wins or loses. I don't have any skin in that game. I don't work for any of these people. I'm not campaigning for anybody. I told you what I thought was going to happen and was mostly right. I told you the 3 races that I thought these guys were going down. They did go down. I told you the races I thought people were going to win. The 2 of them that I said I thought they were going to win did win. I was right about Alting. Right about Liz Brown. I mean, I kind of got this right last night. It doesn't mean anything. You winning, they winning, Turning Point winning, Braun winning, Trump winning, if our lives don't get better because of it, if the policies don't improve because of it. And so we will see very soon. We will see very soon what these people are all about. Okay. Got a lot to get to here. A lot of comments. And for that, we bring in producer Jason.
Hello, Rob. Get up here.
Reads the best comments, YouTube comments of the day. Brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing.
All right. Just checking the mic here, making sure we've got some volume going on.
You look, I see it moving.
It appears we do.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Well, yesterday we dawdled quite a bit during the beginning of the chat, and we didn't get everybody's stuff in. So I want to make sure today that we do that.
Yeah.
On behalf of all, and we're at 300 likes.
Thank you.
So we can continue on, and we can proceed with the chat.
Yeah.
So should somebody want to give me a little volume check there, just to make sure? I mean, I think we're all okay and everything. But we start off today with the old man.
Oh, he was first again.
The old man was first again. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Looking forward to Rob's post-election discussion.
So for those of you who are new, welcome. Old man, the old man 68, is that right?
Old man 68.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
He is almost always our first chatter of the day.
I don't know if he was born in 1968. That would not make you old.
No, because that would make you.
That would make me very young. This chat, by the way, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let the next call to the plumber break the bank. Call John, Black Sheep Plumbing. Black Sheep Plumbing can do the job right at a fraction of the cost of the big guys. Let's see, where's that special? Let's get this special in there. Owner John McKinney is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call John, 765. You can text him as well. 765-315-7558. 765-315-7558. I'm not as smooth as whipping in those live reads as Rob is.
Yes, trained professional.
Yes, you are. All right, so now we can continue on with the chat. Steve Green with an E. Good morning, everyone. There will be so much smoke today, you won't be able to see the end of your nose. I think Rob brought the smoke today. Good job.
I feel like I delivered.
I think you did. You did a great job. Nice 3 hours there. C. Mills, good morning, all. Jim Baird is still my rep, and I'm super pissed off about it. And the fact Shreve and Sparts still won't is ridiculous.
I think you meant one.
Still, yeah, there we go. Okay. Typo. So to read that again, and the fact Shreve and Sparks
with the Z.
Still one is ridiculous. What is wrong with these people?
Well, I think the lesson from that is you got to run good people. You run good challengers. I mean, Shreve almost lost to an unbelievable story, right? I think the lesson from last night should be: don't think these incumbents are inevitable. You do your part. You got a good chance to win.
All right, Drain the Swamp pointed out or said, glad to see you retake your number one position, old man. That was in regards to the old man constantly being the number one or the first poster of the show. The 06010 board, stupid Ron Alting.
That's Trump's guy.
MK Dulles, bye-bye to all those political ads for a few weeks at least.
That's right.
Yeah, that's not great for us, but
we'll
be back. The break's shortened up by half.
I'd like to again point out the one Senate guy that's declared victory is Greg Good.
Oh yeah,
advertised on this show.
There you go. That money well spent.
Yep.
Jan Hatch. Good morning. Quick comment before hopping into the car. Yesterday's origin story was amazing. I laughed out loud. One a day, please.
Oh, that's we told about Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson
ran the Townie newspaper, who said,
and you with the babes on your lap.
Yeah, who said, I'm going to bring whorehouses, not more houses, to Brownsburg.
One a day would be a bit much. We'll space those out.
My life's not that interesting.
That's why you gotta tune in every day and find out when we'll have a Rob origin.
Yeah, I mean,
story.
it's like this is Mick Jagger here or something.
Well, people want to know.
I mean, I've lived a pretty uneventful life by and large.
A new one in the chat. DT Mifty 2247. I had hoped to get rid of Shreve. We'll try again.
I think there's going to be somebody good running against Shreve next time. I think it's
Well, if you got the cash, that'd be the guy to run against.
Well, yeah. I mean, he is a total turd.
All right. Did 06010 board? Did the Cheesem guy win?
Doug did not.
That'd be Doug Cobb.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, but now the election, I'm going to reach out to Linda and see if she'll come on the show.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Linda Cheesem. She'll make her debut on the Rob Kendall Show.
Yeah, she's awesome.
All right. Let's see. Continuing on. Well, 06010 board also said, I voted for Piper. Wonder what my third party options are for Baird.
I don't know if there's a libertarian running for Congress or not, but I was telling somebody this. Oh, it was Drew. Drew and I were talking earlier, and I said, Drew, Piper, the amount of votes he got for what he spent and for some reason, and I can't figure this out, other than our show, like the media would not talk to him. Like it's like he's running for Congress. You're doing candidate profiles or interviews. If you're a TV or radio station and you'll interview the other two guys and not him, like you're doing a huge disservice. And the guy got 9% of the vote. Like what he spent per vote, and considering he got next to zero, what they call earned media.
Right.
That's amazing.
Andy Engel, Jason is early today. See, I jumped from back to forward. Looks like Rob is tired now after lighting it up for so long.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's sitting here talking for 3 hours. I mean, there's no news, there's no weather, there's no traffic. I mean, it's predominant. It's basically, when you put all the announcements and stuff in, it's basically 2 hours and 40 minutes of me.
Right. Compared to before, where you would do 7 minutes and take 5 minutes off. Right?
Yeah. Here's what I say, and people say this about boxing all the time, right? Like boxing looks, I mean, not getting hit, but like the moving, like you think, oh, that's easy.
Right.
Try just moving around for 3 minutes.
Right.
Somebody should. This is my challenge, you guys. Today. Try just like in your car or something. Just try to. I'm going to talk for 5 minutes straight. Like I'm going to talk like to yourself or whatever for 5 minutes straight. See if you can do it. Then multiply that out to get out to 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's not an easy life we have over here.
The 010601 board, all over it today. Why does the fern have a blue radioactive glow?
That's a question for you.
Well, we could change.
Oh, you can change it.
We can change it. Here's a.
Do I need to move?
No, hang on, hold on. Here's a.
It's red.
There's a red.
Whoa!
Like that. Little. There we go. There's a.
It's green.
Now that one. See, I didn't get a chance to really play. That works for the fern. I think we're going to leave it on green. Here we go. Here's yellow. No. There's a blue-green. There's a pink. There's a purple, which looks good on black. But, I think we're going. There's a red. There's a blue. But yeah.
Wow.
Look at that green.
I like that green on green. That's pretty wild.
Okay, 06010 board. Way to point that out to us. All right.
Our listeners are so observant.
I'm telling you what, man, just the set designs. McLovins, what does a VIP ticket get you compared to the peasant seats
you're talking about
live show?
Okay, so the VIP, you're talking the live show, June 27th, madhattershows.com. I think last time they gave out, there was a drink ticket with it. I think last time it's lower level seat and the meet and greet. And I'm putting that in. There's no special meet and greet ticket you got to buy this time. If you're a lower level person,
right? That's only a few bucks more too.
Yeah, it's a great deal. Yeah.
Right.
And we're doing the meet and greet after the show this time in order to be able to spend some more time with people and be able to. Man, I got to tell you this story. So I don't get to do this as much as I used to.
What, talk?
Yeah. I went to Arby's yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And
not my favorite place. That's probably the bottom of my list of fast food.
Well, our longtime viewers know that I used to go to Arby's like every day.
I used to give you all my coupons.
Yeah. And I get there, and this lady, like I'm in the line. They obviously know me at the Arby's. They know who I am. They know what I do.
Right.
They take the manager.
There he is again.
She's amazing. Like the manager is awesome. She is she bakes for fun. Like she's an incredible baker. And when she bakes cakes, she will cut extra slices in case they come in and give one to me. Does
she like hold it for a week or?
No. Like I think she just brings it in, and then if like I'm not there, then she gives it to one of the workers or whatever.
Right.
But like
it's closing time. Rob didn't show up here. You want a piece of cake?
That may actually be how it is. But I worked there in high school, so I got an emotional attachment to the place. But anyway, I show up and I'm in line, and this lady walks up to me and she goes, "I just knew you were going to be here today." And she's like, I think it was her mom. She was there with her, her elderly mother who was super sweet. She's like, we came here. So I was like, I think Rob's going to come today. She goes, I just want to tell you how much I love what you do. And I watch your show every day and you're great. And I was just like, can I just pay you to walk around with me and just like say that to everyone? And so she's like, I never miss a show. I watch it every day. We took a picture together. And she was like, they told me that you kind of just like to be by yourself when you eat your lunch. So I just wanted to ask you before you eat your lunch if
they're discussing you even when you're not there.
She was awesome. This lady was great. She'd gone to our property tax rally. She was awesome. I think it was her mom that she was there with was outstanding too. Just sweet people. And it just, man, the show just touches me so much that people love what we do. That she's talking about, we talked about the old radio show and the property tax rally. And so just thank you to all of you guys for being a part of this with us.
All right, a couple more comments. White Rabbit, blue on black. Andy
song,
Engel.
wouldn't it?
That's a song, and we had blue on the black background there. Andy Engel, I like the green one the most. I think we've all agreed on that.
Right.
Steve Green with an E. That's right, baby. Leave on green. No E.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Rob's arm is in the way. He can't really. If Rob puts his arm down, he looks like a little kid.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier.
Yeah, so I tell him, put your arms up there. So your arms are going to have to be in the way.
Yeah.
All right, continuing on. That's the update. Is continuing on. Let's see. Here we go. Debbie Holcomb.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Debbie.
Got our tickets for the live show.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. We're going to rock the house. It's going to be a great time. I'm so excited for this one. That last one was so much fun. This one's going to be even better.
Feller09, alert to detractors. Go away. We're going to be having an important conversation here today. Don B, gasoline aside. This is a good question. Why is an oil change $100?
See, I don't have this issue.
You change your own oil?
Well, no.
Your dad does it.
No.
Okay.
We told me through this. My car has something wrong with it where it just burns through oil. So I just have to put new oil in.
Oh, you just don't replace. You just
yeah.
Okay, I guess that's
quart of oil is
one
what,
way to do
$5-6, and so every 2 weeks I just put the new oil in.
Okay, well there you go.
They've been telling me for a while that could be a serious.
Do you ever change your oil filter? You have one of those on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would need somebody else to do that, but
okay. Jay Naw, if you want more growth, stop babbling so much and get to the news. I told you that earlier. Rob, how many live reads and promos are you going to do before you get to the news? I just think at the beginning of the show, you should pretty much launch.
So no more, just go right in.
Just like 30 seconds of hello, how are you? Here's the news.
I probably started doing that so you could check and make sure, but I guess now we're sort of situated better.
We're checked.
Yeah,
we know. So that's not
all right. Starting tomorrow, I'm bringing the smoke right out of the gate.
There we go. See, that's why we do the chat, to help Rob along. So it's not just me constantly telling him this
I
stuff.
love the aggressive nature by which he posted that, too.
Yeah. All right. Bowden JM. Tell me how to pronounce that. Last night, had to search on YouTube for live election coverage that covered Indiana. Not many choices.
Yeah, I was very disappointed.
You get all the national stuff, but like when you're the local elections, you never really get.
I don't even get
the little ticker, and it's just like.
Well, okay, somebody answer this question for me. I'm not trying to be critical of anybody, but like I've been a precinct committee man, so it's my job to staff the polling places before, so I'm somewhat familiar with how it works. I know it's different now because they have the vote centers, but this was a pretty simple process when I was doing it. At the end of the night, when the votes are done, it takes like 15 to 20 minutes to tear everything down. The guy that's the inspector or whatever his name is, he prints the thing. It's a physical receipt. They put it in a bag, they mail it, or they seal it. They basically follow each other. There's a Democrat and a Republican. They follow each other to the county seat. They give it to the person. They post the results. Usually the results were always available in Hendricks County by 7:30 at the latest. Last night it was like 9 o'clock and we still didn't have results. Why is it slower now at the vote centers? What's going on that it's making the results slower?
I want to know.
You
should find out, Rob.
Because I was like, I need to know if Lacey lost or not. By the way, congratulations to, and he's a big fan of our show. Big fan. Anthony Gary won his county council race, too. It was a big night for me.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Arch nemesis went down. My guys won.
TIF3HV. Are we doing a 3-hour show now?
Yes. Hi, welcome. Thanks to our friend John Rust, we've now added an extra hour.
C. Mills, 3-hour show started Monday. Okay, he answered that for us. Chris Spangle Show. Did you steal my plant? No, Chris, I copied it off. I took a photo of it, went on Amazon, and I bought your plant.
You know, my mentor was Jay Baker of Bob and Tom, and he told me very early on in our business, he said, in entertainment, plagiarism is the greatest form of flattery.
There we go.
So, Spangle, we took some of your best ideas.
Problem is, I ordered it, and I wasn't sure because I've never ordered a plant off of online before.
Yeah.
It's like, how's this going to show up and everything? So I ordered one. It's like, okay, that was pretty easy to put together. Order another one. Well, they're out of stock.
Ah!
So now my question is, that's a 4-foot. Do I get a 5-foot? And I mean, it's just like, just the problems you go through as a producer. I'm telling you, real world problems. Gettle's Guns.
Yeah.
Wonder how much sponsorship is on here. I may have to reach out to Rob.
Yes, please do. I've known Jeff for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Sales at robkendallshow.com. sales@robkendallshow.com.
Drew's helping out. Drew says, Gettles, totally do it. A friend of mine advertised on Rob's show, and he noticed a spike in web traffic immediately.
That's right. Thank you, Drew.
CM Tharp. Local election coverage last night was non-existent. The red wave was loud. So many unhappy incumbents this morning.
Yeah. I mean, again, the election coverage is very... So we had actually talked about doing...
Well, the local people would have to understand the election and what an election is in order to talk about it. So that's not happening.
Here's what I'm thinking for November, because we talked about doing it last night, and I thought we got too much going on with the new studio. I can't organize this and sell it and all that.
Yeah, Rob wanted to do a show last night.
Yeah, and I decided there's too much going on, and I got to try to find a sponsor. For November...
I had to put the chairs together.
Yeah, I'm going to put an organized effort for November for us to have election night coverage and a show on election night in November. I think I can pull that off.
Okay, that'll work. That'd be fun. All right. Don B., is that a corn stalk? Does kind of look like a corn stalk. When he said that's all I'm going to see now is a damn corn stalk. L.T. Wilson, Braun clown, was touting himself on Fox 59 this morning, blamed it on previous administrations.
It's always someone else's. Isn't that crazy? It's like you've been the governor for a year and a half. But wait a second. This is what's maddening.
The president kind of still does that.
Nobody ran against Holcomb. The whole,
right.
Remember I was always an a-hole for being mean to Holcomb, and Rob's a shock jock, and he's doing this for ratings.
Right.
And now none of the stuff, they all admit Holcomb's bad, but they never said Holcomb was bad when he was the governor or when he was running, and now everything is Holcomb's fault. Hey, I agree, everything was Holcomb's fault. The problem is you guys wouldn't say it was Holcomb's fault. You told me how great it was when you were doing it.
Mad Duck.
Yep.
Braun is lumpy mashed potatoes with half-cooked potatoes. There's nothing worse than lumpy mashed potatoes with half-cooked, cold
You know what
chunks
my
of potato.
favorite part is now?
Perfect description.
We're like a month out from these conventions, so we can move on to the convention coverage. And I think the Morales-Shelton thing is the most interesting thing in the world. So it's sort of like...
What are you going to do if Diego's gone?
It's going to really... That's what I talked about earlier. I said, look, for the good of the state, we have to get rid of Diego. I hope he goes down at the convention. But for the show, the best thing would be for him to win at the convention and then go down in the fall.
Oh, okay. Then we can just put a cap on
the
it.
show. The best thing for the show is Diego stays in through the fall.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because it would get kind of boring. Because I want those buy ads.
I'm sure you could probably find somebody else to complain.
No. I'm just saying I am so excited about Bo Buy spending $10 million to rip Diego and his buddies to shreds. I can't wait for that.
Hold on just a second. There's one thing about every 30 minutes I have to.
Oh, you got to hit the camera.
I have to hit the camera because it'll go off. And it's about to go off.
Okay, all right. I'll filibuster here.
Un momento.
By the way, just a reminder for you guys, if you haven't done so yet, we would definitely want you at the live show. It is June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club in Greenwood. We had so much fun the last time. You can get the link. I've got it pinned up at the top, Rob Kendall Show. Oh, I'm sorry. Link pinned at the top at Rob M. Kendall. I have so many platforms now. At Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. The link is there. It's pinned right to the top, at Rob M. Kendall. Or just go to madhattershows.com.
I didn't do that very smooth. I think I moved the camera. But
that's all right.
It's quite all right. Okay, continuing on. LT Stoltz. The set looks even better today. The plant makes it really come together. Maybe move the curtain to show a little more wall behind the plant. We could do that. We're still working on things. We actually ran out of panels, but that's okay. Drew, stolen plant. No, bought this plant. MLM Warriors, nice plant. I like the back light. The front light looks great. Well, thank you. W. Stucker. All our Republicans have always been rhinos. You agree?
A lot of them, but I mean, Republican rhino is Republican in name only.
Right. Who do we have right now that's not a rhino?
Well,
give me your top 3 non-rhinos.
Like you're saying in the state?
In the state of Indiana. Three guys you're like, okay, those guys are conservative Republicans. They do what they're supposed to do.
Well, here's the problem. You have guys who are fake Twitter Billy badasses like Andrew Ireland, who always say the right thing, but then they vote for a budget with $1 billion in tax increases. Because he was talking smack last night. I said, all right, then you tell me what it looks like, big boy, because you voted for $1 billion of tax. I don't know. There's not any in the General Assembly. Like who? Who would you?
I'm asking you, Rob.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I can't think of. People are always like, who does Rob like? Here's the problem. I try to like somebody, and then everybody holds it over my head for 2 years, saying everything's my fault because then I finally support somebody. So I've just found it easier not to support anyone.
This is a mean comment, but I'm going to read it.
Great.
Well, not really. Hilo. Do we have to suffer through Hammer at the live show?
It is just me, but that is not.
for me.
Hammer was great at the live show.
He was.
Yeah, Hammer. We
He's
love
a
Hammer.
funny dude.
Hammer's awesome.
Hammer. He's got great crude humor.
Yeah. Now, the difference is I can say Hammer's name on our show. They're not allowed to say my name on their show. It's like Fred Krueger. Like, just try, like, if you say my name or acknowledge my existence, I'm going to grow strong. It's like
Isn't
ridiculous.
that Beetlejuice?
Oh, that's Beetlejuice. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, don't say it
think
3
about,
times.
I was there for 9 years. When you say the midday guy, everybody knows who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Casey was, my friend. Everybody knows who I am. Like, that's just the most pathetic thing. Like, if we just don't say his name, people won't know he exists. Like, I gave you guys everything I had for 9 years and was pretty damn successful. You can say Rob's not here anymore. It's okay. We're big boys and girls. But we can say Hammer's name here, and Hammer is wonderful.
Okay, but the point of it was, I read that to point out that, no, Hammer will not be there. It's just the Rob Kendall. An evening with Rob Kendall.
It is a thank you to you guys for helping us get back on our feet, grow in this program. That's what that evening is about, a chance to bring everybody together and say thank you to our amazing Rob Kendall Show audience.
TIF3HV. Destiny Wells can go suck eggs. Horrible clown. That's mean. I love reading those.
Look, she was probably the better choice between her and Carson, wasn't she?
Well, yeah, I would imagine. W. Stucker. We need help getting Lebanon mayor out of office.
I didn't think he was running again.
Yeah.
I thought he said on the show he wasn't running again.
Oh, is that right? I don't know.
I think maybe he told me that. I think he's told other people that.
Okay.
Matt, if you didn't tell any other people that, or I just imagined that, I'm sorry.
Okay, I probably shouldn't read this, but I'm going to.
Oh, no.
C. Mills, Sparts, Diego, and Braun are all 3 in a room. You get to kick 2 in the crotch.
Oh, no.
Who do you choose?
I am not.
You got a woman in there.
I'm not kicking anyone in any crotches.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm just going to come on this show and tell you every day about how bad they are at their jobs.
We're against violence.
That's what I'm doing here.
Yeah. No violence toward your politicians. Just mean thoughts.
No, and we talk about this all the time. Like, if you see a politician out, you should go up to him and tell him what you think, but do it in a peaceful, law-abiding manner.
Okay, here's one. We Want Wine, 1996. Where did Diego come from? Not to be, quote, unquote, that person.
Uh-huh.
But was he born in this state/country?
Well, I believe Diego's story. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this, and I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm recalling this from memory. I believe he says he was born in Guatemala.
Okay, so he was not born in this country.
I think that's it.
So the one silver lining is he can never be president of the United States.
Diego cannot ever be president. He claims he was in the military. There's some dispute to that. Primarily that there's like a photo of him with a uniform on, and several people have really disputed that. That'll be interesting if that comes out in a Bo-Buy ad. And then he somehow wormed his way into, he worked for Rokita. Paperwork shows he got fired from Rokita's office. He somehow ended up with Charlie White. Paperwork shows he was about to get fired from Charlie White's office.
Didn't Charlie White get in trouble?
Well, Charlie White had a little run-in with the law and was not the long-term Secretary of State. Then Rokita somehow ended up with Pence. Would you like to hear the story the first time I ever met Diego?
Do we have time?
Well,
yeah, sure we do. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, we got to start just a little early so we can move the stuff because I got to go get Nikki Kelly. I really just realized I told her the building address.
Covered, man. You got to go do what you.
Oh, you want to wrap it up?
I'm telling you, I'm just whatever.
All right. Maybe we'll do that today.
Here to help.
But
a humble servant.
I've said this before. I was very naive. And when the book is written, I was still in that phase of my life that Mike Pence was a good guy. And so they asked me to be a county coordinator for him, and I said I would do it. And they had a Hendricks County Lincoln Day. Mitch Daniels was the guest speaker. And I don't know anybody on the Pence team, right? Like, okay, I'll do it. We put out signs, we help staff the events, whatever. But it's not like you knew all the players. You got invited to the conference calls, et cetera. And I get to the thing early because I'm like, okay, it's my county event. I got to, put the signs out, help with do whatever. And there's this guy in an SUV, and he's like banging his head up and down like he's jamming out to music. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And then it turns out he goes in. He's like, yeah, I'm Diego. I do blah, blah, blah for Pence. I was like, oh, this guy's kind of weird. And then it turned out
How long ago was this?
Well, this would have been when Pence ran for governor, 2012.
It's been a while. Then Diego's been around a while.
Oh yeah, the Rokita stuff was in the 2000s.
Okay.
And then so then Diego worked for Pence. I still don't know what he did for Pence, nor do many other people. That's never been clarified.
Well, according to the old man, Tippy Toe Diego is Indiana's DEI hire.
Well, then he tried to run for Secretary of State. Connie Lawson decided she was going to run again. He didn't want any part of that. He tried to run for Congress. He lost. To Baird. Then he decided he was going for Secretary of State again, and now he's Secretary of State. That's what I know.
MK Dulles, is Diego watching this show right now?
Oh, they all know. Diego, hey, now I can do this. Diego, you are invited to come on this program. Let's just talk it out.
You have to do more than that. You probably have to formally. You've not invited him yet?
No, I've been busy. I want to make sure our studio is set up.
An email? Come on, we got to get Diego on here.
He is never coming on.
Well, you got it, but you have to ask.
All right.
It's like you never get the date if you don't ask.
I'll add it to the list of things that I
think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Drew, I missed the John Piper commercials already. Steve Green with an E, don't want to pump Rob's ego, but getting the word out about these losers had at least something to do with last night. That's why this show is so important.
Thank you.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, Steve Green with an E.
There we go.
Thank you.
There we go. The 06010 board. Piper and Cobb should have recorded one more ad just for us loyal fans. Maybe a
Here's the thing. Piper owns a business. Maybe we get Piper to advertise.
Oh, there you go. Why not? Just throw some of that money our way. Okay, Nicholas Kurtz, and I know you need to wrap up here pretty soon, so we'll do so. Nicholas Kurtz, at producer Jason. Good morning, legend.
Every day.
The 0601 board.
Every day.
I thought Kevin was the producer. Nicholas Kurtz. No, the legend producer Jason runs the show here.
You know, one thing it makes me sad is I've never heard from Kevin since I left IBC. Well, I liked Kevin.
Yeah, he just going with the flow.
I liked Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's a good dude. My son, the 0601 board, I confused the guitar guy with the drum guy. My son, Vaughn, is not his God-given name, is the bass player in Kevin's band.
That's right.
Uno Gold.
That's
so
right.
There's a lot of layers here. So let's see what else we got. Snorlax Gamer. Too many commercials. It's hard to keep listeners engaged with all these breaks.
There's a lot of them.
We got like 4 breaks of 2 minutes apiece in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Rob, you're breaking too much. Making too much money here. C. Mills, at producer Jason. Incoming donation. Let's challenge everyone to do at least $10 today.
That's right.
We should have read this
earlier.
earlier.
You should have read it in hour 1.
You can go to the website, robkindleshow.com, look for the contribution button, and give us $10.
I mean, who else could have done this today? Right? Come on. Even the people who hate me are like, this is pretty damn impressive that the guy could pull that off.
Let's see what else we got here. We'll go ahead. We got so many good, and I know Rob.
You got 3 minutes.
Oh, we got 3 minutes? Oh, I can bang out a ton of them in 3 minutes.
I guarantee, because I didn't tell Nikki Kelly exactly what room we were in. I guarantee she's like in a panic that she doesn't know what room to go to.
Right. Okay. So you didn't give her the room number?
No, because I've got a million other things going on, and I've got to log in here and I'll call her and tell her.
You need a priority list, Rob.
Well, I need an assistant.
Drew, the Marion County Libertarian Party is going to make some noise.
Is Drew's running for State House as a
Is
Libertarian?
he? Well, good luck, Drew. If you need a commercial made, let us know.
Drew's running for State House as a Libertarian.
Well, you know, Rainwater got 10% of the vote because of the commercials he ran.
11.5%. So
11.5%. That was okay. A little bonus.
For those you don't know, Jason did Rainwater's commercials.
Oh, stop. And Matlock. This is the Rob I love.
Thank you.
Yell louder for the idiots in the back and the trolls. Mad Duck. Yup. Ruthless, railless Rob. Is off the rails. Can you use that, or do you own that? Is that not ownable by you?
I don't think it's copyrighted. I don't see it in like the, whatever.
Lori for Liberty. Did Rob get a new office?
I did. I think that's Lori Schillings. Yes.
And Matlock. I do like the new studio.
Thank you.
KT Dance. Is the Fern Rob's subliminal support of legalization?
You guys know I'm all in on the marijuana being legalized. However, a lot of restrictions around it. don't want it in a public square, but you do whatever you want to do in your own home. I don't care.
Cheryl Curry, nice studio. Thank you, Cheryl. Mad Duck, you need a ficus to go with the fern. I couldn't tell you a ficus from a fern from a... I know what a cactus is. Somebody suggested we get cactus. Lori for Liberty, every week add a new fern until it's a tropical wonderland. C. Mills. Or we need 2 Robs and put the fern in between and call it Between Two Robs. That might be a stretch. Let's see what else we got. Shrog Samich. Miss Samich. I'll make you a sign, Rob. Ooh, can you do neon? Can you do LED? We need an LED, just the logo, like the little logo down. You see where I'm pointing? Logo right down there. That would be really cool. Behind you, especially when we do interviews and we have that wall opened up there.
Our buddy Andy from the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage, he offered to do some stuff for us too. We have tons of talented people.
Absolutely. And let's see what else we had here. Joseph Norris.
Love Joseph. He's a great guy.
Put you on pause, Rob, just long enough to get VIP tickets for the show.
Yeah, Joseph Norris. Oh my gosh, what a great guy. I've met him in person multiple times. Great dude.
C. Mills. Hell yeah, I'll be there as well.
Love it. We're gonna rock the house, and I think they decided they just want you the opening act. Just you roasting me. You have 1 minute.
Okay, we'll leave it with this. Okay, no more about me, so we'll leave it with this. Todd Gack, new one in the chat.
Yeah.
I know it's a couple years out, but we need to focus on primarying the worst Indiana rhino of them all. Todd Young.
Yeah, that's somebody else's burden to carry.
Oh, you're not. I'm out of that. You're not on the get rid of Todd Young.
No, I'm out of that business. I got rid of a town councilman last night. Mission accomplished.
Okay, well there you go. Let's see if there was anything that would be. So that will do it for.
For the record, I wanted to say I support getting rid of Todd Young. I'm just saying I'm not like in the game of figuring out who that's going to be.
Okay, and then Aaron Conrad.
Yeah.
Will the I Love Rob Kendall shirts be available at any point? I'd love one.
I don't know. We'll get some sort of shirt.
We got to do that. That's my next. Now that we're actually now I need a desk actually, but once I get a desk, then I'll be able to put a laptop on it. Then I'll be able to look into ordering hats and maybe for the big live show, maybe we could have the merch ready to sell.
All right, guys.
All right, that's going to do it for me. So long, everybody. This chat brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing.
Thank you,
long, everybody.
Guys, thank you for being with us today. This is what we do. It's why we're doing this show, man. It's a blast to be able to do 3 hours on election coverage. You're not going to hear anywhere else. To the dismay of many, many politicians and others, we are growing. We are expanding. You guys are the backbone of it. You're the reason it's happening. We can't thank you enough. And before you get out of here today, hit that thumbs up button, like our show, share the feed, let people know where we're at. And don't forget, we got a support button up at robkendallshow.com. That is going to do it for us today. For producer Jason, I'm Rob Kendall. You've been watching Rob Kendall Show.